Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Became Superior Red Dragon Emperor and Deku Azure Dragon Emperor movie. Before we start, please go support NerdyHollow for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. Chapter 1, One with the Sword. The day was peaceful in Ko Academy. The former all-girls high school was bundling with life as it was lunchtime. However, during this time the students in the old school building were not having an ordinary lunch like anybody else. Issei, Prez, why did you call us during lunch hour? Kiba, yes, this seems sudden for you to call us immediately. Rias Gremory, daughter of the Gremory household, little sister to one of the kings of Hell Sir's ex-Gremory. Rias, I called you all here because it was important matter that needed immediate attention of all the devils in this club. The redhead pulls up a letter in her hand with the seal opened. Akeno, who was it from, President? Rias, the hero faction. Akeno, era, that is troubling. Issei, why? What is the hero faction? Kaneko, it is a group consisted of humans. They have no relation with other factions and their sole purpose is to keep humanity safe while we devils and angels kill each other. Rias, until the war stopped. After the war, the heroes disbanded to their countries of origin. And this letter is from a family that resides here in Japan. Issei, whoa, so it was a big group, huh? Akeno, not as big as the factions, but they were strong enough to kill numbers of devils and angels by themselves. Issei, wow, they sound amazing. So cool. Rias, I understand your perspective, Hayato-kun, but remember you are a threat to them now that you are a devil. Issei, oh right. Rias, now back to the matter at hand. The hero faction sent me this, and I think they sent Sona one as well. Kiba, what did they wrote? Rias, they said. Greetings, Ms. Rias of the Gremory household. We hope this letter finds you well in health. The hero faction asks your forgiveness for letting that stray priest in your territory. We promise that it won't happen again, as we will send someone capable to take care of him and the fallen ones. We ask that the Gremory household and the Citri household to please leave this matter to us. Sincerely, leader of the hero faction Hisashi Midoriya. P.S. If you want to contact us, please contact whenever it is convenient for you, Ms. Gremory. Rias refrained from reading the last part to her peer members. Everyone else hears the content of the letter and were all in thought, but one of them was moved, you could say. Issei, Prez, please tell me you are not allowing this. Rias, and why should I not? Issei, because I want to be the one to save Asia. And make that motherbucker pay. He says with venom in his tongue, snaring with his teeth. Rias, I am going to offer them a deal. Everyone was surprised while she pulled out her phone and put in the numbers. Rias, am I speaking to Hisashi Midoriya? Hisashi Midoriya, yes, that is me. Hello, Ms. Gremory? The man's voice was serene. She could pick no malice or spite over the phone despite the animosity between their affiliated groups. Rias, I would like to propose a deal with the hero faction on this, let's say, operation. Hisashi Midoriya, I am open to it. What will your proposal be? Rias, I would like few of my members to accompany your hero. Hisashi Midoriya, what will we get from this? Rias, what would you want from us? If it is something that we can give, I might be able to provide you with it. Hisashi, I have received word from my agents that you have recruited the Red One. Rias' eyes widen in surprise. She never expected someone to know that so quickly. Rias, what do you want with him? Her voice changed from formal to anger. Hisashi Midoriya, nothing that will harm your peer member. I just want him to duel my son, that is all. Rias, if that's the case, then I don't see a problem with that. Hisashi Midoriya, then we will appoint the date and place after the operation. Rias, right. Have a good day, sir. Hisashi Midoriya, you too, Ms. Gremory. Rias hangs up and then looks at her peers. Rias, they were polite enough to send us a letter at least. Issei, so you are saying we are going to save Asia? Rias, I want to know what a hero from the clan can do, That's why I am sending Akeno to accompany you three, which I normally wouldn't. She will report everything back to me in detail. Issei, thank you, Prez. I don't think a pawn like myself would have been able to handle this alone. Kiba, even if that was the case, I wouldn't have allowed you to go by yourself, Hayato-kun. Rias, and to what you said, Issei-kun, you being a pawn doesn't mean you are weak. Just like in a real game of chess, the pawn have the power to promote themselves to any piece, that is beside the king, of course. So as long as I consider it an enemy territory, you can promote to any piece. Issei, promote myself, huh? Then I have a chance. Rias, yes, now if you excuse me, I have something that came up, you guys go ahead. A red magical circle appears below her and teleports her somewhere else, leaving her members. Akeno, we better get a move on then. Later. The members of Gremry's peerage arrive outside the church in haste to see someone in front of them. It was a man of average height, 5'8" ft or 177 centimeters. His shoulders were broad, which seems logical as he had a broadsword on his back. Is it a tradition for devils to arrive late? Kiba, apologies, we thought it would give us an edge of surprise. That's a big sword. Well, considering that your objective is to save the nun, I thought you would get here in a hurry. Akeno, Arrow, what is the gentleman's name? The hero turns around and now they could see his face. He had unruly green hair with diamond-shaped freckles on his cheeks. His eyes were green, same as his hair. Izuku, I am Izuku Midoriya of the hero faction. Now if we're done with the pleasantries, let's move in. Suddenly his body flickers out of their sight. Issei, whoa, what just happened? Kiba, he went in and I say we should do the same. He's fast considering that he has that big sword. Akeno, Kiba, Issei and Kaneko run towards the church and was then met with sound of metal against metal. Izuku Midoriya, get out of my way, you bucking shit. They walk through the broken door and sees the hero clashing with the crazed saint. Freed Oya? If it isn't the same wretched devils. How nice. Hiya. The saint pushes and leaps above the hero to the devils. Just when the tip of his light sword got close to Issei, he was thrown to the side by a tremendous force. Izuku, where do you think you're going? I am not done with you. The green-haired man lunges to Freed, not giving the crazy man a chance to get up as he spears through his shoulder. Freed, Gaa! His shriek of pain was loud, and it was as pathetic as he was. Issei, that is brutal. Kiba, thinks, not the worst I saw, shouldn't we move further in? Freed, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Gaia. Akeno, remember we are only here as backup, he gets to say. Freed, get off me. Get the fuaagh. The devils, besides Akeno, put their hands on their ears trying to muffle his scream as the hero drives the sword in further. Issei closes his eyes and turns his head, not wanting to see someone be killed in this brutal way. Izuku quickly lets go of the sword and leans backwards before a loud bang is heard, and then Freed tries to get up. Gah! Son of a hitch tch. Sound of flesh and silk tearing apart accompanies the scream. The newborn devil looks at the hero and sees that he was swinging his big sword expertly while attacking his downed enemy. Izuku continues to slice and tear Freed's body, not paying any mind to his screams, but after a few seconds it started to annoy him. Izuku, shut the buck up. He raises his sword and prepares to deliver the finishing blow. Freed, please spare me. Shirkh. The sword pierces through his heart. Issei feels bow coming up his throat. He tries to fight against it but fails to keep it in. Izuku pulls out the sword. Bucking prick. He curses as he kicks his corpse. He swings his sword to the side, flicking off any loose blood on the sword, and wipes it between forearm and bicep. A/N. I know it is a Japanese samurai thing, but I think it's a sick move, so I decided to put it here. Izuku, let's go in. Honestly, they're useless. Why did father agree to let them come? Again his body flickers in front of their eyes. Kaneko, he's fast. Kiba, let's go. The four devils run into the tunnel that the hero uncovered before they came in. At the end of the staircase they were met with bloodbath. Izuku rushes through many, swinging his giant sword and slicing anyone he sees as foes. Issei looks further, and sees Asia and Rainier on an altar with the nun chained by her hands. Issei, Asia. The devils rush into the bowl as well. Akeno, thunder. Kiba advances beside Izuku, slashing their adversaries with swift motion. Kiba tries his best to match Izuku's speed of slashing whilst also protecting his blind side and vice versa. Issei runs, dodging any attack or swings coming at him, or if any of them were close to hitting him, Kaneko was there to save his ass. Issei, Asia. What are you doing to her? Asia, Issei-san. Rainier, how cute. Your friend is here to save you. Too bad he's late. A bright light then suddenly shines from Asia and everyone gets blinded. The light was from something that came out of her, a pair of silver rings. Izuku, TCH. Chance. Rainier, twilight healing, with this power I shall become. As if the light was ineffective, Izuku blinks past the people and then swings his sword at Rainier. Clang. Rainier, you're new. Another devil? Izuku, TCH. Wrong. Izuku lets his right hand go and unsheathes his dagger and slashes upwards, taking the fallen angel by surprise. Rainier, ga. Her hold on her spear loosened, which gives Izuku an opening to strike her with the sword. He steps to the side and dives forward, dragging the edge of the blade on Rainier's side. Rainier, you little bug. Issei, Rias, just like in a real game of chess, the pawn have the power to promote themselves to any piece that is beside the king, of course. So as long as I consider it an enemy territory, you can promote to any piece. Promotion. Queen. Ha! Rainier looks toward the new voice but was met with red metal to her face. Issei, how dare you? Dragon, if you want power. Rainier. Dragon, sacrifice your arm to me. I don't know who that was, but if you can give me power, have it then. Issei advances and strikes her in the abdomen. While swinging the gauntlet on his left hand, changes form and shouts. Boost! Rainier, Geo. She feels another slash. This time trailing from her shoulder blade to her hip. Izuku, I am here too, you know. Throws the sword to the side. Issei. Boost! Ha! Izuku, Oria. Rainier thinks I need to hurry or else. The rings that shone and levitated in front of Asia started to slowly fall. Izuku, I need to end it now. Ha! Ching. Izuku's sword then shines and flies to his hand as if he reeled it in with an invisible force. Izuku, perish. Rainier makes a light spear and holds it in front of her, trying to shield herself, but as luck will have it. Shrik. Issei's eyes widen, not believing what he just saw. The light spear in her hand sliced in two, as same as her body. Rainier, ha! Impossible! Izuku tightens his grip and starts swinging his sword, which seemed to have changed its shape because now it was shorter, like a knight's sword. Izuku, hit! Hi! 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 Ha! Akeno, thunder! Izuku quickly grabs Issei and Asia away from the altar, ripping the chains off its hinges as Akeno's lightning struck what was left of Rainier into nothingness. Izuku lets go of Issei and gently puts down Asia. Izuku, partner, that gauntlet. Izuku looks at Issei's hand, inspecting his sacred gear. Izuku, it seems that boy is the Red Dragon Emperor. Interesting. Issei, Asia. Asia, Issei-san. Cult, get them. Kill them. Izuku, release. Energy of blue aura flows from the sword and engulfs Izuku whole. Izuku, Azure Dragon Emperor. Balance breaker. Dodge or don't. I don't care. Ha! He swings his sword horizontally, sending out energy wave that sliced everything in its path, even the walls were sliced. Luckily, everyone that he came in with him had gotten on the floor. Cult, GAH. Error. However, the cult members were sliced in two, spelling their death. Izuku, humph. Now that they're all dead, it is time we depart, devils. He says as he looks at the devils coming and circling Issei. Izuku, you! The pawn! He points at Issei and he looks up. Izuku, what is your name? Issei Hayadu. Izuku, Issei Hayadu. I will remember your name, Red Dragon Emperor. And you should as well, since we will be meeting again. So until then. He slashes the air and then a rift materializes from the slash. Izuku, be prepared, devils, because I don't think we will meet as allies next time around. He then walks in and the rift closes behind him. As if on cue, a crimson-red magic circle appears behind the group, revealing Rias Gremory in her ruby-colored hair and beauty. Rias, it seems you guys took care of it. Issei, press, please. Save her. Asia, Issei-san, you don't have to. Issei yells in panic and fear. Issei, what do you mean, Asia? You are ice cold and I can hear your heartbeats slowing down. Please, if we can put your sacred gear back in you, we can. Asia, I might die, but I am glad I got to see you one last time. She raises her hand slowly, which was then held by Issei. His tears roll down his cheeks, his lips quiver in sadness. Asia's eyes water in sadness as well, seeing as this was her last time seeing. Asia, my friend, Issei-kun. Her friend Issei Hayadu. Issei, eyes wide in awe. Then he feels it. The hand he was holding suddenly slipped between his fingers, then onto the floor it fell. Issei GKH, Aya. Rias, Issei-kun. Issei, Ayawa. Issei feels his body gain strength. His mind rushing 1,000 miles an hour. He looks at the altar and sees a pair of black wings, so he blindly rushes toward it without knowing who it was, nor did he care who it was as long as it was a fallen angel. Such a pathetic death for you, Rainer. Killed by inferior beings? The new character turns his head towards a yell he heard coming in his direction. Issei, Rayynare. Who is this? He makes a spear out of light and then throws it to Issei. Issei, GH. The spear stayed true to its target. It penetrated through his left shoulder, which made him lose focus and crash beside the new fallen angel that came here to see Rainer's demise. A devil? Smirks widely. Oh, how fun it will be to torture your wretched soul. Issei, KGH. Boost! Boost! HM? That gauntlet, it can't be. I see why Rainer met her demise so easily. It's because she provoked the Red Dragon Emperor. Issei, not paying attention to the fallen angel's words, gets up in a crude manner and lunges at him like a rabid animal. Issei, AH. He swings his left hand with the green orb shining brightly. The fallen angel effortlessly dodges his swings while mocking him. Ha! And it seems you are an amateur in terms of combat. Issei, Aya. Boost! 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 Explosion! Issei, Haya. WHA. The devils take cover while safely taking Asia's body away from the blast. Akeno, Rias, who is that? Rias, 12 wings? A commander of the fallen angels. Kiba, press, we need to help him. Kiba and Kaneko both swiftly closes in on the end of the impact. Grr. So it seems I was wrong. The new Dragon Emperor is rather talented in combat. Gets up no matter. I am Kokabil, leader of Grigori. I will show you what a fallen angel can do, Red Dragon Emperor. Kiba, sword birth. Dozens of swords sprout from under Kokabil, which he dodges by flying up, but the devils were ready. Kaneko, HAH. Kaneko sidekicks Kokabil, but the fallen angel quickly holds her leg and throws her away. Issei. Boost! 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 Busto! Explosion! Rayara! Kokabil, ARGH. Akeno, Thunder. Rias, Chaos Magic HA. Kokabil, HH. It's 5 against 1. And one of them is the Red Dragon Emperor, and that is the daughter of the Gremory house. I should retreat, but remember this, devils, next time won't be this easy. Gabriel casts a spell that makes a barrier of light in front of him that effectively protects him from all the attacks while he escapes. Rias, he's gone. Everyone powers down, the auras surrounding them dim as they exhale to relax. Akeno, do you know who that was? Rias, I don't know, but judging from how many wings he had, he was definitely a commander. But why would he escape like that? He seemed prideful. Issei, boost! Kaneko, Prez. I can't hold him. The two girls look back and sees Issei losing control. Rias sprouts her wings and flies toward Issei and hugs him, putting his head between her breasts, fully knowing how much he loves it. But he was in no place to enjoy it as only tears streamed down. Issei, she didn't deserve to die, President. She only wanted to enjoy life and help whoever she could. She just wanted to make friends. His voice couldn't carry his words without trouble. He staggered and paused towards Asia's body. Issei, she called me her friend in her dying breath. I was her only friend. I wanted her to meet my friends too. A few seconds pass as Issei continues to cry over the nun's dead body. Then his hitched breath stops, and then he looks back to Rias. Issei, press. Rias, Issei steps forward and starts to grovel in front of her, which took everyone by surprise. Issei, please, I will do anything. Just please make her one of your evil pieces. Rias, you know what that means, right? Issei, yes. Rias, she would be reincarnated as a devil. Don't you think that will be sacrilegious to her beliefs? Issei, if that happens and she does anything harmful to you or any devils, I will take responsibility. Rias, you are really willing to go this far? And for a nun, no less. Issei, yes, definitely. Rias, Info card, Hisashi Midoriya. Name, Hisashi Midoriya. Age, 42. Race, human. Affiliation, Hero Clan. Family, Gwendolyn Kemp Midoriya. Wife, Izuka Midoriya. Son. Sacred Gear, Kusanagi no Tsurugi, Grass-Cutting Sword. Sacred Gear Level, Longinus. Kusanagi no Tsurugi, discovered inside the body of a great serpent Yamato no Orochi by the god of sea and storms Susanoo no Mikoto. The Shinto gods, in an attempt to protect the people, decided to lend humanity strength during the war between three factions by giving them their weapons and artifacts as sacred gears. One of these sacred gears were Kusanagi no Tsurugi, the fabled sword of divine power. Abilities: the sword grants the user to control wind with its slashes, even allowing the wielder to move with the wind as well. Balance Breaker, Aim no Murakumo no Tsurugi, Heavenly Sword of Gathering Clouds. In its balance breaker form, the sword shines a bright teal color, and with a slash it can slice anything that has physical and spiritual form. Likes: Senshati Udan, swords, his wife Gwen, his son Izuku, his clan. Dislikes: devils, angels, fallen angels, fire, demons. Hisashi Midoriya is the leader of the Hero Clan of Japan, true hero clan that protects the people. His mastery over the sacred gear, Kusanagi no Tsurugi, reached the ears of even the deities of far lands. He is fierce in battle, even fiercer against any lesser deities, angels, fallen, devils, yokais, etc., so much so that he is known as the raging wind among them. He started hunting since he was 14 years old, 2 years after his sacred gear awakened. While hunting devils and fallen angels in Europe, he encountered his now wife, Gwen Kemp, in France. Enchanted by her beauty and strength, as a warrior he pursued after her, capturing any chance that he can cross paths with her on his lonely purge. His pursuit was rewarded with her trust and love that stayed strong for 20 years, and it lives through their son, Izuka Midoriya. Chapter 2, One with the Gauntlet. Dragon Partner. Issei, Dragon. Ddraig, you have to get stronger, or the Azure Dragon Emperor will dominate you. Issei, I don't think I can be that strong. Dragon Issei, his blade. Dragon, Deus Gladio. Issei, it sliced through it. Issei remembers what he saw on the altar when the Azure Dragon Emperor delivered a downward slash at the fallen angel. The light spear that Rainier held in front of her got sliced clean. Issei, I don't think it will be any different if and when I achieve that balance breaker form. He remembers Midoriya's balance breaker. It was majestic. The presence alone exuded authority. The cape spoke righteousness, dark blue armor that looked similar to a knight, blue eyes that can pierce the darkness it lays upon, and a knight's sword. All of it was enough to let his foes know that they were doomed. Ddraig, humph. It is true the heavenly dragon of authority is strong, but authority is a mere obstacle against true domination. You must be greedy to be a strong red dragon emperor, partner. Issei agreed, huh? Ddraig, I see that you still uphold your morals from your mortal days. Forget them. You're a devil now. And the red dragon emperor. Your old ways are irrelevant to you. Issei, I have to think about it. Dragon HM. Then the room goes quiet. He leans back on his chair, putting his left arm on his eyes as he remembers the events that happened. Flashback. Rias, since we have a new bishop, I think it's right to introduce her. Asia, my name is Asia Argento. I am pleased to be of acquaintance. Rias, due to Issei's request and considering the fact that a healer is an essential asset to any peerage, I reincarnated her as a devil to everyone's knowledge. I am hoping great things from you, Asia. Asia, I'll do my best. Rias, now, the real reason for this meeting, the hero clan. Everyone's ears stiffened to troubled. Kiba, do you think they will be a nuisance to us, ma'am? Rias, I don't think so. Even though they are not governed by any celestial beings like a cult or the church, they know boundaries. We will be fine as long as we are away from their territory and be passive. Akeno, then is it about the boy? Rias, yes, it's about him. If what you guys told me is true, we are going to run into him sooner or later. Asia, why would he be a problem? Rias, because he is the Azure Dragon Emperor. Kaneko, aren't they more of a passive dragon emperors? Rias, usually, but you and Akeno know that is not always the case. Their faces grew sour knowing that it's true. Issei, why? What did he do? Rias, it was not him. Just like you, Issei, Azure Dragon Emperors had previous wielders, but they were always born earlier than the other two emperors. And as mentioned, they are passive to anything relating to the white and red's problems, for they concern themselves in mortal matters. If you know your history, almost all great heroes were Azure Dragon Emperors, but they lacked the drive to discover their true strength. Only few of them had discovered the true power of their sacred gear, but they were unnamed in history of mankind. Issei, I see, but you said they're, usually, passive. What did you mean by that? Rias, few hundred years ago, a person who claimed to be the Azure Dragon Emperor started causing havoc in the supernatural world. He waged war on all the pantheons, the Greek, Norse, Celtic, and so on. All of this was in pursuit for authority over everyone, to be above all. Issei, did he succeed? Rias, many pantheons fell to his rampage. All because everyone came to know the heavenly dragon of authority held that much power too late. So the remaining gods came together to put an end to his frenzy. Issei, so he died? Rias, not without a fight. His sacred gear, Deus Gladio, is a sacred gear that was made by God, and it was nothing but powerful, even being in possession of a mortal. The king of the underworld, Lucifer, was slain by him, but he dealt the killing blow in his final breath, thus killing him. Issei, so you're saying the Azure Dragon Emperor Kiba has potential to slay even the god more than the other two, makes him the strongest heavenly dragon. Rias, even you, or the White Dragon Emperor, have that kind of power, but Azure Dragon Emperor can do so with less effort compared to you or the White. Issei, wow, but you said, you or the White. So does that mean I am one of the two? Rias, yes, you are the Red Dragon Emperor. One who wields the power of Red Dragon of Domination, Ddraig. Issei, whoa. Akeno, the White and Red are heavenly dragons, are arch-rivals that disrupted the great war between three factions during their many battles. Their battle shook all three realms, making all sides have truce to defeat the two dragons. Rias, both dragons were then sealed into sacred gears, one being your gauntlet-boosted gear. However, even when they were sealed, their rivalry continued through their wielders, and even when the one was a victor through killing the other, the rivalry never stopped. The gears went to another person, then the rivalry cycled for thousands of years. Azure Dragon is an interesting case, for he had no relation or rivalry with the other two, and no one knows the reason why the wielder of Deus Gladio intervenes in their fights. The devils hypothesize that Azure Dragon of Authority was sealed by the god to pacify the two heavenly dragons, seeing as they were a great threat to everyone when they roamed free. We don't know what the angels or the fallen angels hypothesize, but I believe they think similarly. Issei looks at his left hand and ponders on what he just heard. Issei, I hold this much power. Dragon partner. Suddenly everyone in the room hears a deep voice coming from Issei's hand. He turns his left palm down to see green circles shining and blinking. Ddraig, I don't have much time since you are not strong enough yet. The Azure Dragon Emperor from the past explained everything to me and Albion. The reason for his interventions are to prove that he is the strongest dragon that was blessed by the god, and also to protect this realm, for it is his lifelong mission given by him before being sealed in that sword. Rias, hello, Welsh dragon. I am grateful for you giving that information to us. Ddraig, humph. Don't be mistaken, Gremry brat. I hate that damn dragon for always butting in. The more people know of anything that I know about him, it takes an element of surprise from him, which is one thing he takes satisfaction in. Kiba, the Welsh dragon is petty. Interesting fact to know. Akeno, but Welsh dragon, what is the power that the Azure Dragon Emperors possess? No one has been able to define it. Ddraig, I have the power to boost infinitely as long as my wielder doubling their power. Albion can have his opponent's power, so you can see why we are equal. Qinglong, the Azure Dragon of Authority, has many powers, but the Sacred Gear's own power is a problem. It is called God's authority. The power that can command anyone's power. In other words, his opponent's power is under his control. He decides either the power works or don't, like a god. The revelation surprises everyone in the room. The idea of being powerless in front of Azure Dragon Emperor frightened them. Rias, that is, I don't know what to say. No wonder he is thought to be the strongest heavenly dragon. No one is powerful in his eyes, everyone is powerless in front of him. Kiba, that's mind-boggling to think. No wonder multiple pantheons fell to a past emperor. Ddraig, that is all the time I have for now, partner. We will speak later. Privately. The green shine on his hand diminish as the voice stops. Issei, so let me get this straight. I possess a power that comes with eternal rivalry that could lead to my death if I am getting the gist. But if I fight the said rival, another all-powerful dragon will interfere, possibly killing both of us. He also has the power to basically make me powerless or anyone he wishes. Rias, you are correct. Issei, and I have to go against foes that can have my power over and over, or someone who can make me powerless. How am I gonna do that? Rias, get stronger. To live, you have to get stronger. Flashback ends. Issei, stronger, huh? And to do that I have to be greedy. I have to long for power. Not only power, it can be anything. How about? He springs up and yells. Issei, boobs. Ddraig, be boobs? That is what you yearn for the most above all else? Issei, yes, big or small, I don't care as long as it is bouncy and scrumptious to see and feel. Like presidents or Akeno senpais, even if it's like Kaneko and Asia's, I don't care. Ddraig, you pervert. You only want boobs? Issei, not just one pair. I want many, as many as possible. I want to be a harem king. Ddraig, you degenerate. Goro Hyodo, ISCI. Quiet down, will you? Mickey Hyodo, sighs, our son is at it again, isn't he? How will we get grandchildren when he is like this? Goro Hyodo, at least he is honest about what he wants. Mickey Hyodo, don't encourage him, father. The Hyodo family house was not so peaceful and quiet that evening. Info card, Izuka Midoriya. Name, Izuka Midoriya. Age 16. Race, human. Parents, Hisashi Midoriya, Gwendolyn Kemp Midoriya. Affiliation, Hero Clan. Sacred Gear, God Gladio. Sacred Gear level, True Longinus. Sacred Gear origin, Deus Gladio literally translates to God with a sword, in Latin. It is a shape-shifting sword that has tremendous power residing within it that the God of Bible created secretly. Not even his most trusted archangel Michael knew such sacred gear existed. Deus Gladio is a seal for another heavenly dragon, Qinglong, the Azure Dragon of Authority. Qinglong was loved by the god for his unusual peaceful nature, thus he gifted him some of his own power, willingly entrusting him with the power of God's authority. Abilities: Deus Gladio grants its user superhuman strength, superhuman speed, superhuman durability, as well as Qinglong's God's authority. God's authority. With a slash of his sword, user can alter reality to their capability. However, there are many that no one knows. There are some known abilities such as 1. Nullify, ability to cancel, erase, nullify anything the sword slashes. 2. Shape shift. The user can change Deus Gladio's shape to any weapon with only his thought. 3. Warp gate. With a slash of Deus Gladio, the user can open a tear in space connecting to any place or dimension he wishes. Balance breaker. The armor has similar appearance to the other two Emperor's balance breaker, but its color is Stygian like the river Styx from Greek mythology. The eyes shine bright azure color, true to the dragon's name sealed within the sword. In this form, the basic abilities granted by Deus Gladio is heightened tremendously. Likes: Tonkatsu T, his family, the hero clan, hand-to-hand fighting, reading, and music. Dislikes: devils, fallen angels, cults, immorality of humanity. His father, Hisashi Midoriya, taught him swordsmanship from young age of 5, and just like his parents, he was talented with the blade. He learned Western and Eastern swordsmanship from his prospective parents thanks to his sacred gear's ability to shape-shift into any form. His mother was keen on instilling everything she learned, since Deus Gladio's original form was that of a knight's sword which she mastered. His father taught him anything that he himself learned throughout the years with the sword. Even though Izuku loves swordsmanship, he also loves hand-to-hand combat and dedicates his available time to learning martial arts. He is diligent in his academic records. With his great physique, academic success, and respectable personality, he was always called the Knight by his schoolmates. Chapter 3: One Who Loves to Fight. The day was a bit gloomy in color. The sky was covered in a thick blanket of gray clouds that spelled a possible rain in the land of sun, or at least that region of it. The Midoriya household was a traditional Japanese house that was a bit modernized due to passage of time, but the overall aesthetic remained old but refurbished. Some people were out and about doing chores around the house, but they could hear a sound coming from inside the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The sound of wood hitting wood came from the garden inside the Midoriya house. The house members knew the cause. It was the next heir of Midoriya family, Izuku, who was training his swordsmanship. He strikes the Makujin in front of him with rhythm and steady breath while exerting all his strength behind each swing. He was used to the strong recoil of each hit after doing it for years, but it still dulled his senses for some time after. Arya, how's member? Good morning, young lord. Tak. Izuku, phew. Good morning, Arya. But didn't I tell you to call me by my name? He relaxes his posture and holds the wooden sword beside him. His body was drenched in sweat as a result of his training. Arya, you did, but you will be the next leader of the hero clan, so I don't feel right calling you by name since I will be working for you in the future. Izuku, I would prefer if you didn't, at least when we're alone. How about that? Arya, I don't thin. Izuku, then would you do it if it was an order? Arya, I would be obligated to do so if it was an order, yes. Izuku, then, I order you, Arya, as of today to address me by name whenever we are alone. Arya, as you wish, Izuku-san. Izuku smiles. Is everything okay? I don't think you approached me because you wanted to have an idle chat with me. Arya, well, your mother sent me to give you this. She hands him an envelope that was sealed with a red stamp he didn't recognize. He takes it and thanks Arya, who excuses herself to go back to her duties. Izuku, a stamp I don't recognize. I wonder why mother made Arya hand me this since she could do it herself. Well, only one way to know the answer to that, I guess. He pulls out his dagger from his belt and opens the letter. Izuku, an acceptance letter? To Ko Academy? Izuku picks up a towel and wipes his body, then heads to the shower. In the shower, he talks to the heavenly dragon residing within him. Izuku, do you think father was behind this cheating? I would guess your mother was clued in on it as well. Probably. He turns the shower and dries himself before changing to new pair of clothes, then started making his way to the study room that his father usually stays in. Knock knock. Hisashi, come in. His father said from the room. Izuku walks in and sees that his father was busy as always going over reports of other heroes in the clan. Hisashi looks up and was relaxed to see that it was his son who came through the door. Izuku, good morning. Hisashi, good morning, son. I heard your swings and walked by you earlier. Izuku, I noticed, yeah? Hisashi, so why did you come in here? Is it another spar? Izuku, no, it's about this. Izuku raises the letter in his hand, which Hisashi noticed was opened. Hisashi, ah. The response from Ku. I assume you read whether that you are accepted or not. Izuku, I did, and I was accepted. Hisashi, good. I didn't assume they would refuse an academically inclined student such as yourself for transfer. Izuku, But can I ask why, father? Hisashi, oh. You called me father, seems like you are angry with me. Is it because it's quite a distance from home? I can arrange a closer home for you in a close proximity to a friend of mine who owns a dojo. He might not have a problem with having you there for a few hours a day and accommodate your stay. Izuku, no, I just wanted to know why you two decided to make me transfer at the first month of high school. Hisashi, well, the Red Dragon Emperor goes to that school. Izuku HM. So it's a mission. Hisashi, partially, yes. The Red One is quite new to this whole supernatural world that our ancestors grew accustomed to, but since he is the pawn piece of Rias Gremry's peerage, I wanted you to be close since the White Dragon Emperor will approach him someday. Izuku, I see, then I am fine with this arrangement. I will ignore the fact that you didn't inform me first, knowing full well I wouldn't have opposed to this if it was to keep an eye on one of the emperors. And that is where you are partially wrong, son. Izuku looks back and sees that his mother had walked in the room. She was a beauty in a color of green. Her hair was smooth and long, reaching her hip. Her eyes were green, which matched her hair color. Sometimes he wonders how his father managed to warm up to her. Izuku smiles, good morning, mom. Gwendolyn Kemp Midoriya smiles, good morning, son. Izuku, what do you mean by your statement? Why would I be against it? Gwen, Izuku, you may know that Ko was an all-girls school before they made it co-ed. Izuku looks at his mother with questioning eyes, trying to solve what she meant behind those words. And then he understood. Izuku, mom, I have no problem with having a conversation with the female population at my present school. Gwen, I know you don't, and I also know that you don't see any of them as your potential bride in the future. So I thought maybe being surrounded mostly by female students could nudge you to explore your romantic lifestyle. She says as she takes a seat beside him. Izuku, sighs, since it's already decided I will go to Ko Academy. Hisashi, you can decline if you don't want to. Izuku, that doesn't matter, and you know that, father. I will think about mom's concern and might try to be more open to the idea. Gwen then holds his hand and cups his cheek with one hand. Gwen, I only want what's best for my little sprout. She then kisses his forehead. A loving gesture his mom always did since he could remember. Izuku, I will be in my room if you need me. He stands up and leaves the room, leaving his parents in the study room. Gwen, do you think we are putting too much responsibility on him? Hisashi, I do. And I always ask him whether I am putting too much on him, but he says he's fine. Gwen, Hisashi, you know men always say that by instinct. Hisashi sighs, I know. I am a man too, you know? Sometimes, I hate how similar he is to me. Gwen stands up and makes her way to her husband behind the desk and passes her arm around his shoulder and sits on the arm of the chair. Gwen, he resembles both of us, honey. When I was his age, I never even thought about love, I only saw the mission. Hisashi, being a parent is seeing yourself growing from your parents' perspective. Gwen, who said that? Hisashi, My father said that to me once, and it stuck to me ever since. Gwen, he's a wise man. Hisashi, don't say that to him, he won't live it down. Gwen giggles, I won't, honey. She then leans down for a kiss, which Hisashi obliged happily. It was abrupt, but they could still feel the ever-growing love they had for each other. With Izuku in his room. Qinglong, are you irritated by your parents? Izuku, I bet yes. But I understand both of them. Both the mission and mom's concern are my duty to the clan. Qinglong, perhaps you shouldn't think of it as a duty to fulfill. More of them allowing you to experience life before taking on the responsibility as a leader. Izuku, maybe Qing. Qinglong, yes, partner? Izuku, do you think Albion and Ddraig will ever stop? And if they do, what will your purpose be in the event it happens? Qinglong, no, I am certain their rivalry will continue since us dragons are greedy by nature. It is our basic instinct alongside the drive to dominate which they respectively share. Izuku, how come you are not like them? Qinglong, greed comes in different forms. I yearn for total benevolent authority that they disrupted, and it is satiated by dominating them in each reincarnation. The god favored me because my instincts given by nature was unique, and I will reinforce his authority by using what he gifted me. Izuku, how was he? Qinglong, who? Izuku, the god. I don't know much about the Bible, but I heard that he created mankind in his image, but I don't think we are. We humans are all different. Qinglong, that is why mankind is his greatest creation. Humans have so much potential to be anything while they live. Every single one of you are like gems that have different glimmer and clarity. Which is why he gave me an eternal mission to protect them by being a sword of the best of humanity. Izuku, how do you know that I am best of humanity? Qinglong, I'd been in the wrong hands only once, Izuku. But I consider that to be his intention, to warn the supernatural beings that they are not absolute. That his creations have a protector that is capable of eradicating them if they take it too far. I refuted that man, but I couldn't deny his conviction. Izuku, you believe in him, huh? Qinglong, if you were me, you would have believed in him as same as me. Izuku, maybe. Later. Co-Academy. Previously an all-girls school turned co-ed, bustling with young women with few men in contrast, but today someone raises the male population by one more. Izuku, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Pleased to make you acquaintance. He elegantly bows with his hand on his chest. Girls, Kaya. A cute boy in our class? Boys, GH. Another Prince Charming? But among them, someone recognized the green unruly hair and emerald green eyes, even though now his hair was shorter. Issei, what is he doing here? Izuku, perhaps mom was right to be worried. I might have some problem adjusting, but please bear with me. Girls, we'll help. Izuku, thank you. Girls, ahhhh. Matsumoto, a cute boy has stolen every girl's hearts. Matsuda, the chance of us getting laid slims down each day a cute boy transfers. Issei's two friends were too occupied by the attention the girls were giving to Izuku to see that Issei was a bit uneasy. Girl 1, is that a dye? Or is that your natural hair? Izuku, well, my mom has green hair, but my father has the same unruly hair like me. Girl 2, is she a foreigner? Because Japanese girls don't have colored hair naturally. Izuku, you're right, she is Spanish. But my father is Japanese. Girl 3, wow. So you're half Spanish. Do you know how to speak Spanish? Izuku, yeah. She sometimes speaks Spanish with me. Girl 1, can you say something in Spanish? Please? Izuku, then. You girls are nice. Girls, wah. What did you say? What did you say? His cheeks grows a pinkish hue in embarrassment, but he mutters out what he said. Izuku, I said. You girls are nice. Girls, yeah. Matsuda, and he speaks Spanish. Grr. Matsumoto, we have no chance. Izuku's attention turns to the trio of perverts. Izuku HM? What's wrong with them? Are they okay? The girls looked to where Izuku was looking and their faces changed to disgust. Girl 1, don't mind them. Girl 2, they're the 3 perverts of the school. Girl 3, honestly, I don't know why the Students' Council president lets them stay here. They're so gross. Izuku, isn't that a little harsh? Girls, no. Izuku, come on. I don't think being passionate about what you love is gross even if it's perverted as long as they don't act inappropriately. Girls, they do. Izuku, oh then there is no siding with them, I guess. Matsumoto, he's bad-mouthing us as well. Matsuda, grrr. I'm gonna show him. The baldhead rushes to his new classmate. Izuku, by instinct, steps forward and puts his leg between his legs and then executes a clean Uchimata, throwing him on the ground. Izuku, oh sorry. I think that was a bit rough than I intended. Are okay? Matsuda, why yeah? Sorry about that. Izuku, here. Matsuda takes Izuku's hand and gets lifted like a paperweight, and gets patted down like a kid who just tripped on his own feet. Izuku, there. Again, sorry about that. I moved on instinct and that was a bit harsh. Matsuda, and no, this guy's strong. And when he threw me I felt his muscles. It was like hardwood, sorry for rushing at you like that. Matsuda walks to the back of the class. Girl 2, humph. Serves him right. Girls, nods Izuku, I think I scared him a little. Later at the Occult Research Club. Rias, this has become complicated. Akeno, a hero transferring to school with devils. I wonder why Sona-san approved it. Rias, I asked her, and she said that it didn't seem like that much of a trouble. She doesn't think that he will do anything irrational in an enemy territory. Kiba, but he's the Azure Dragon Emperor. Even if he acts against us, we wouldn't pose a threat to him. Izuku, that is if I intended to act against you. Everyone turns in surprise and sees Izuku standing at the doorstep. Izuku, don't get me wrong. I hate your whole existence in this realm. But I am not here for that. Rias' eyes sharpened at the hero who was not at all threatened by it. Izuku, I am here because the Red Dragon Emperor is here. And I know as well as you that it is only a matter of time before the White Dragon Emperor comes to challenge him. Rias, so, you're here to stop their inevitable battle? Izuku, correct. The sword on Izuku's back shines in blue color. Qinglong, I guess you were quite talkative, Ddraig? Issei's left hand shines green. Ddraig, ha! What? Didn't want the little secret to come out, old bat? Qinglong, childish even after all these years, you're still that little hatchling that would pester me during my sleep. Ddraig, ga! That's not true. It's not true. Qinglong HM? Are you embarrassed, Little Red? Issei, Little Red? Ddraig, don't call me that. Why do you always tell that story every cycle? Qinglong, haha. It is one of my many pleasures to hear your voice fluster, that's all. Ddraig, grrr. If I was not stuck with this pervert I would kick your scaly ass. Qinglong, ha ha ha. Izuku, seems like they're having a great time. Issei, sorry. But why did you come here? Izuku, I said. Issei, no, why did you come to our club? You must have wanted something. Izuku, oh that. It's simple really. I want to train you. Everyone, ehhh. Izuku, my ears. He picks his ears in annoyance. The room suddenly grows dark with crimson-red glow. Everyone there turns their attention to the source to see the Gremory Princess. Rias, state your reasons, or I will. Izuku, what? Lay your life to waste? Let's make few things clear, little princess. 1. You don't stand a chance. Your bloodline is infamous for chaos magic, but it is no use. 2. Even if all the Pantheons were to attack me now, I will win. You know what happened with another Azure Dragon Emperor from the past. 3. I don't have to answer to any of your questions, but I will answer it this time. I have met the White Dragon Emperor. Everyone's face returned to shock. Izuku, and I can say for certain that you, Issei Hayadu, are the weakest out of the 3 heavenly dragon emperors. Which I cannot put the blame on you since you just reincarnated as a devil. But if you want to stand even chance against any one of us, then you need a training from someone that is compatible. Rias' chaos magic subside and the room changes back to its mellow yellow color. Rias, why are you helping him? Wouldn't him being weak end the fight quickly? Izuku, it would be ideal, but... Flashback. Izuku was back in the study room, but daylight had already passed as dark veil laid beyond the windows. Hisashi was behind the desk skimming through some documents and paper while Izuku observed his father. Hisashi got reminded that this was his behavior whenever he wanted to talk about something serious. Well, at least to Izuku anyways. Izuku, father. Hisashi, yes, son? Izuku, can I be selfish with one request? Hisashi, I would like to first hear your request. Izuku, I want to train the Red Dragon Emperor. Hisashi HM. He grumbles in thought and stays in place. Hisashi, why? Izuku, I evaluated his prowess in battle, and although he is adaptive, he lacks direction and conviction to fight. And as a part dragon now, I cannot let that fly by me. I want him at his best, father. I want a glorious battle to gauge my strength against beings that could rival me. Hisashi, his eyes, they've gotten more lively since he encountered the White Dragon Emperor. But seeing the Red Dragon Emperor's potential increased his love of fight with possibilities. Izuku, and seeing as he is new to the supernatural world, he will be morally human, which I can work with. Hisashi, whom it is selfish, I will say. Izuku, I understand. Izuku tries to get up, but Hisashi stops his son. Hisashi, I'm not done, Izuku. Izuku, all right. He sits back down. Hisashi, if you're willing to take responsibility of keeping the battlefield contained to a certain area, I will accept your request. Do you think you can manage that? Izuku, there is a slim chance of failure, so I think I can manage it. Hisashi, then, it's settled. Now go rest, son. You're going to a new school tomorrow. Flashback ends. Izuku, I have my reasons. Info card, Gwendolyn Kemp. Name, Gwendolyn Kemp Midoriya. Age 40. Race, human. Affiliation, Catholic Church, formerly Hero Clan. Family, Hisashi Midoriya, husband, Izuku Midoriya, son. Sacred gear, Kurtana. Sacred gear level, artificial sacred gear made by an unknown archangel. The original Kurtana, or curtain sword, is used for coronation, so it is kept in a secure place. This was made by an archangel that helped Michael, the leader of the Seraphs, during the faction war. The angel wanted to create a sword that cleansed the humans that were reincarnated as devils to control the growing numbers of the devil population. The Kurtana can also exorcise pure-blooded devils. Abilities. Kurtana has the ability to cleanse and exorcise devils and allows the user to adapt to their opponent. Meaning, she is a counter to any supernatural being that is created from malice. Likes, Hisashi Midoriya, her son wine, Japanese culture, swordsmanship, singing, playing her flute. Dislikes, the Catholic Church, devils, fallen angels, Norse god Loki, Greek pantheon. Gwen Kemp is a descendant of a noble knight, a warrior that was said to have slain an army of devils with his life. His son became a knight to honor his father, which became the family's tradition to serve the country and the people. When Gwen was born, her father was not that thrilled, but he still trained her when she was at an appropriate age. But he got to realize something. His daughter was a natural swordswoman. Her handle of a sword was precise, fierce, swift. Her footing was impeccable, as if she held a sword for decades. Her father was ecstatic about her capability, that he started to overlook her gender. When she was 10 years old, her father offered her service to the Catholic Church, which they accepted after seeing her talent with the sword. The priest then gave her a sacred gear to utilize her ability. For the next years of her life, it was always slaying demons, yokais, beasts that the church appointed to her. After 10 years of spilling blood from anyone that the church pointed at, her life was lightened up when she met Hisashi on a mission. At first she didn't bat an eye at him, but over time, due to Hisashi's relentless pursuit and his help in realizing that she was just a tool of the church, she started falling for him. Hisashi then took her back to his homeland and settled down, and started doing operations there as well as managed the hero clan after his father's retirement. After a year she came with Hisashi, she conceived Izuku, and their love has only gotten stronger. Chapter 4. I'm gonna die. Girl on alarm clock, please wake up. If you don't, I am gonna kikiki. TCK. Issei, I am gonna have to throw this out someday. Izuku, I agree, it's disturbing. Issei, huh? What are you doing here? Izuku, my ears, man, I can hear that you're lively this early in the morning. Issei, early? What do you mean? Izuku, it's 4 in the morning. Issei, huh? But how? My alarm should be at 5:30, 6 o'clock at the latest. Izuku, I changed it when you were dead asleep. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna work on that spatial awareness too. Now, get up. Issei, ahhh. Issei screams in the air as he gets launched out to the streets through his bedroom window, which was open thanks to Izuku. Issei, oh. Issei grumbles and looks up as he could hear someone approaching him. Izuku, I thought you would let your wings out mid-air. Issei, are you crazy? You trying to kill me or something? I could have died. Izuku, you're a devil and the Red Dragon Emperor at that. You're sturdier than you give yourself credit. Now let's go, pervert. Izuku walks to his leg and starts dragging him on the ground. Issei, ah. Stop. Let me get up at least. Gomph. Issei's mouth gets stuffed with paper which he spits out immediately. Izuku, my, how inconsiderate of you Hayato-kun, people are sleeping. It's too early to be shouting. He says with a sly smirk on his face. Issei, pway. You're the one who tossed me outside. From 2nd floor. Izuku, and you're the one who wanted to get stronger. Didn't you say that you want to be stronger? Strong enough to protect your friends. Didn't you say that? Issei, yes. Izuku, louder. Issei, yes. Izuku, come on. With your heart and soul. Issei, YSS. Izuku, then shut up and get up. We are starting with 10 kilometers run. Issei, ahh. The Red Dragon Emperor comically jumps up and starts running ahead, leaving dust cloud behind him. Izuku, I don't think I said it was a sprint. It won't be long until I see him collapsed on the floor. 15 minutes later. Izuku HM? Izuku runs forward and sees Issei leaning against lamp post. Issei, ha. 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 How long ha was that? I feel like it's been at least 30 minutes. Izuku then passes by him in brisk pace. Izuku, 15 minutes. But you have almost ran through a quarter of it, so keep up in a steady pace. Issei, I am gonna die. The Red Dragon Emperor weakly paces behind the hero and continues his first exercise. After few minutes. It's been few minutes since Izuku caught up to him, and they have been jogging while basking in the early sun. It was fairly early hour of the day, but Izuku could see some people were out and about as he saw there were early delivery services, or some elders taking a walk. Issei, Midoriya-san. Izuku, yes, Issei Hayadu? Issei, you can call me Issei if you want. Izuku HM. Then what is it, Issei? Issei, how did you get this strong even though you're still a human? Izuku. They jog in silence for a few seconds while Izuku debates on whether to tell him or not. Izuku, you see, Issei. I was raised in an environment that required me to be stronger than my strongest self. We heroes are small in number compared to the 3 factions, and being a small group of the only clan that is the last line of defense against the supernatural world, we have to grow stronger every single day. Issei, but the devils, angels and the fallen angels have truce between them now. Izuku, and do you think it will stay like that in the future? Issei was caught by surprise with that question and starts to wonder the same thing in his mind as the hero continues. Izuku, they fought each other for millenniums and only stopped because the most powerful beings in all 3 sides perished during the war. Humanity survived thanks to their tenacity and the efforts from angels and the hero clan. It has been peaceful between them for some time now, yes, but there is always someone who could stir things up. Peace is not obtainable, but tolerance, or a beneficial relations between enemies are common in nature. All three sides provide some kind of benefit to each other, but when that runs out, war will be the only thing we know. Issei, so you've been preparing yourself as long as you could remember? Like a soldier? Izuku, yes. Everyone is prepared. Why do you think the devils conduct a battle between themselves with real individuals called raiding game? Why do you think Rainier went through all that trouble of stealing that nun's sacred gear? Why do you think the angels still have influence in today's day and age? It is all precautions for another war, and all sides believe that it will guarantee their victory if and when it happens. Issei, raiding game? Izuku, seems like the Gremory princess have something's close to her chest. Come on, we're close to finishing. Izuku picks up his pace and leaves some distance between him and Issei, who was replaying everything he heard. Issei pawn, huh? Then he picks pace after Izuku. Izuku, we're done with our run. Now how do you feel, Issei? Issei, in between huffs, my chest feels like it's burning and collapsing at the same time. Izuku, huffs, now let's do some light stretches, which we will do first thing tomorrow. Issei, panting, stops, man, you're a tough coach. Izuku, I have to be tough. You don't know your opponent, but I do. I've seen him and fought him. Issei, speaking of, what are they like? Izuku, let's talk while we do some stretches. Izuku grabs his shoe while holding his legs straight, which Issei mimicked, but he couldn't reach his toes. Izuku, it's fine if you can't reach, Issei. In time you will be able to. Now back to your question. The White Dragon Emperor is resourceful. He has mastery over his sacred gear, divine dividing, and his magic control and ability is not to be taken lightly as well. Stand straight. They both stand straight and exhale. Izuku stands on his left leg and balances himself while holding his foot to his bottom. Issei tries to mimic, but he keeps losing balance. Izuku, you can do another exercise, you know, if you want to. Now, back to the White Dragon. I am certain that he is someone of high class, but from which faction I do not know. I commission few heroes to track any and all information about him. So I hope I will know more in the future. He says as he already switched legs and is now done with both legs. They continue stretching for another 5 or so. Izuku, and we're done with our stretches. How do you feel now? Issei, I feel fine, actually. Izuku, good. Now let's do exercises that focuses on muscles. Give me 50 push-ups to start off things. Issei, alright. Issei gets on the ground and start doing some push-ups. Issei, so, who won between you two? Izuku, between me and White? Issei, yeah? Izuku, there was no winner if it was only ourselves without our dragons. We both came to realize that we were both tactful, cunning, and skillful. So, seeing that fighting each other wouldn't have any winner, we decided to exchange one blow in our Juggernaut drive. Flashback. Valis/Albion. Hi, who is about to awaken? I am the heavenly dragon who has taken the principle of supremacy from God. I envy the infinite, and I pursue the dream. I shall become the White Dragon of Supremacy. And I shall take you to the limits of White Paradise. Izuku/Qinglong. Hi, who is about to awaken? I am the heavenly dragon who was granted the principles of authority from God. I cherish the infinite, and I resent the dream. I shall become the Azure Dragon of Authority. And I shall carry you through the lengths of the endless realm. Vala and Izuku/Albion and Qinglong, Juggernaut Drive. Vala, RAH. Izuku, Oria. The two dragons charge an energy beam in front of their mouth and shoot. The beams collided, but Izuku's penetrate through Vala's energy beam and hits him. Vala, AH. Ha! Flashback ends. Issei, you won? Izuku, yes. He was strong, and he might have gotten stronger since the last time we ran into each other. It has been 9 months now, so I don't think he was standing around doing nothing. Issei, wow. Izuku HM? The hero sees the newborn devil was thinking of something. Issei, I sure haven't been feeling like a dragon emperor. Izuku, you're just beginning, Issei. You may not be strong now, but I can see the potential. You're a genius in battle. Issei, I don't think I am. Izuku, let me tell you something that only my clan knows. Both sit in lotus position looking at each other. Izuku, I am not compatible to fight alongside someone. Issei, eh? Izuku, during any battle that takes place it's either only me or other teams. Issei, but didn't we kick Rainier's ass during that mission? Izuku, No one was ever that coordinated with me. Even that knight in your group couldn't be close to me for long even though I tried to adjust to his sword style. You are a born battle genius, Issei. Not the tactful kind, but that can be worked out through experience. You just need training and conviction on top of experience. Issei, conviction? Izuku, why do you seek power, Issei? From what I have seen so far while observing you for days, you don't have something that you want to achieve with your strength, your power. Issei, with my power. He solemnly looks at his left hand. Izuku, sure, you are passionate about women and their figure. But what do you think you want behind that? Pleasure? Love? What would you fight for if you suddenly got your harem that you are so passionate about? Greed will make you strong, so wanting something else besides a harem will make you strong. Issei hm. Izuku, exercising helps with our mind. Now let's do some sit-ups. You will be able to find your reasoning. Izuku jumps up and pulls Issei off the ground. Izuku, think about what I said, Issei. You are the Red Dragon Emperor. You are the incarnation of the Red Dragon of Domination. You need to be greedy, yearn for more. More than pleasure, more than love. Issei hm. Later with Issei in his room. The lights were off in his room. His vision being clear and dark had its upside but also its down. He couldn't think without his eyes setting on few things. Issei. More than pleasure, more than love. Huh. Ddraig, he's right, you know? Issei, a dragon? Ddraig, even though I detest the wielders of Deus Gladio, they did strongly believe in their ideals which made them stronger. The Red Dragon Emperors were strong because anyone is susceptible to greed. You want pleasure and that can be a great fuel to help you get stronger since it's you. But you must desire for more than that, partner. If you want to be strong. Issei, then what? What should I want? Ddraig, that is on you. Everyone who possessed boosted gear had different desires, but it was their nature to want what they wanted. Power, wealth, pleasure, glory, anything. Issei humph. The room was quiet once more as he thought about it. Dragon, partner. Issei, yes. Ddraig, if it is something perverted, just dial it down a bit, will you? Issei, hee. I will try. Dragon hm. The dragon grumbles and the green light on his hand dissipates. Issei, what more do I want other than a pair of boobs, harem hm? Izuku, it doesn't have to be one thing, Issei. I mean, being greedy is wanting everything you set your eyes on, right? Issei, it doesn't even have to be one thing, huh? Chapter 5, I'm Human. It has been few days since Izuku started training Issei every morning. They focused on his muscles and stamina and covered few techniques from martial arts that Izuku knew, which Issei grasped it well. Today was break day, much to Issei's delight. But he had few things in his mind. Issei, President has been acting strange for the last few days. And that incident last night. He remembers the night before when Rias suddenly offered her chastity to him, and a devil named Graphia came to take Rias away. Issei, she didn't really seem impressed with me, either. Well, I guess I could ask President when I go to the club. Izuku, what's wrong? You have been deep in thought since this morning. Issei, something happened yesterday, I don't think you should worry about it. Izuku, Later as they were on their way to the club room. Issei, President has been acting strange lately. Do you know anything about that, Kiba? Kiba, I have noticed, but I don't know the reason. Also, why are you coming with us, Midoriya-kun? Izuku, I don't have anything else to do after class, so I figured that I could stick around your club room for some time. Kiba, I see. Izuku, is there any problem? he asks cautiously, which the knight answers with a smile. Kiba, no, there's no problem. I just thought that you had some urgent matters to discuss with her, that's all. Izuku, I see. Well, if there is ever an urgent matter, I am not in position to take it to her. It would be my father. Kiba, speaking of him, what is your father like, Midoriya-kun? President said that you were probably the next leader of the clan. Izuku, I am. Well, he is thoughtful, bit of an airhead at times, but it's rare to happen. His swordsmanship displays unwavering resolve to vanquish any evil in front of him. He's the reaper to his enemies and an avenger to his allies. He's the one who taught me how to hold a sword 11 years ago. Kiba, he must be a strong swordsman for you to be proud. Izuku, both of my parents are strong. Their swordsmanship reached the ears of many gods and deities of foreign lands. Kiba, the Tempest Blade, Hasashi Midoriya, I heard that his blade dances with the wind. Is that his sacred gear? Izuku, it is, yes. I don't know the full power of his sacred gear, but he told me that he split mountains trying to find some yokais in the past. Kiba, my, that is powerful. Izuku, haha, it is. They reach the club room and steps in and finds a woman in blue maid dress standing in front of Rias' table. Issei, oh, Grafia-san? Izuku, another devil? Rias, everyone's here, huh? And even Midoriya is here. Izuku, had nothing else to do, so I decided to drop by. What is happening here? Grafia, a human, my lady? Rias, he's the next head of the hero clan here in Japan and the wielder of Deus Gladio. The maid's eyes widen and turns to look at Izuku. Izuku, surprised? Take a picture, it will last longer. Grafia, he doesn't seem like much. May I begin speaking, my lady? Rias raises her hand. Rias, as it happens. She was shortly interrupted by a flaming magical circle that appeared beside them. Izuku, another one? He summons Deus Gladio on his back and holds handle, ready if anything happens. Humph, I haven't been to the human realm in a long time. I've come to see you, my beloved Rias. Issei, who is this guy? Grafia, that gentleman is Lord Riser Phoenix. He's a pure-blooded upper-class devil, the third son of the House of Phoenix. Issei, House of Phoenix? Grafia, and the fiancé of the next head of the House of Gremory. Issei, next head you don't mean? Grafia, in other words, he is Lady Rias' betrothed. Izuku, a pure blood from Phoenix household? And he is her fiancé. His grip tightens as he sharply looks at Phoenix and Rias. Izuku, and judging from her reaction, she is not excited about all this. An arrangement, eh? He lets go of his sacred gear but doesn't desummon it. Izuku, let's see where this leads. Moments later. Riser, yeah, the tea prepared by my Rias queen is most delicious. Akeno, very much obliged, sir. Akeno bows and takes the tray away. Riser sits next to Rias with his arm around her shoulder, which he used to caress her hair while he indulges in tea. Issei, that despicable scumbag. He's the president's husband-to-be? Izuku, he is older than her as well, ah. Riser then puts the cup down and caresses her thigh, which Rias escapes by standing up. Rias, enough of that, please. Izuku, any longer I wouldn't have been able to hold back myself. Ahem. He lowly fixes his throat and remains leaning at the corner of the room. Rias, Riser, I've told you this before, but I am not going to marry you. Riser, but Rias, I think that your family's circumstances are desperate enough not to allow you to be so inconsiderate. Izuku, circumstances? Rias looks back at Riser in the eyes. Rias, I do not intend to bring my house to ruin. I intend to make you part of mine. But I will marry whomever I wish. Riser, it is a matter for all devils to keep pure-blood devils, whose number all but vanished in the last war, from dying out. Both your father and Sir Zex decided on this arrangement with the future in mind. Rias turns away from him in anger. Rias, my father, my brother, and my whole clan are in too great a rush. I won't say it again, Riser. I will not marry you, she says with resolve, but was met with Riser's hand on her chin. Riser, I too, Rias, bear the reputation of the House of Phoenix. I can't have you besmirching our good name. Issei, President. Every one of Rias' servants take a ready stance to get in, but someone else has had enough of this deviant. Riser, ah! What is this? He feels cold steel close to his neck and looks back to see Izuku with his eyes glowing bright blue. Izuku, I am sorry to interrupt, but I will not have you do whatever you want in my country. Riser, your servant is quite ignorant to raise his sword against an upper-class devil, my Rias. Izuku, I am no devil, and she is not yours Phoenix. Riser, tch. Then what are you? He asks as he turns around facing Izuku, who puts some more pressure on his neck and draws blood. Izuku, I'm a human that will vanquish you from this realm if you keep this up. Riser, a human? Haha. He laughs in his face, which didn't amuse the hero one bit. Riser, you really think I would be afraid of you? I am Riser Phoenix, a pure-blood upper-class devil that won many raiding games. I will bucking end you, human. Izuku, you hold that title so high, don't you? Do you know why there are few purebloods left? Rias and Grafia, HM? Izuku, it's because some were strong and smart enough to stop that pointless war before there was no pure blood left. But only one devil house was too afraid to take part in that war, the House of Phoenix. At that, Riser stares daggers at Izuku. Izuku, even though your family possessed the power of immortality, they fled from the battleground tail tucked between their legs. You talk about besmirching your good name, but what is there to taint if there is nothing but waste? Riser, why you little? Grafia, stop this at once. Thud. Grafia raises her aura, which stops the two men. Riser had Fireball in his hand ready to blast the wretched human out of existence. But Izuku had already sliced that hand off his shoulder. Riser, gh. You low-born human. Arg. A tearing of thread and flesh fills the room as Izuku swiftly sliced off his other arm. He then rams him to the wall with his shoulder, and quickly blitzes before him and places his sword in front of his eyes. Izuku, I nullified your healing abilities. You will be fine after your powers return. I took your arms because you tainted the Gremry princess with them, and you know that won't do anything to me, Sirs ex-queen. I will not risk the wrath of the current Lucifer, but I will take my chances against anyone else, and you know I can bear the consequences of that. Grafia stands next to him with magic circle ready to cast something at Izuku, but decides to stop. Grafia, please, return Lord Riser's powers to him, Lord Izuku. Izuku humph. He swings the sword and sheathes it behind his back and steps back to where he was. Izuku, I think Sir Zex had planned for this, since he knows of my existence in this academy. Grafia, my lord was acknowledged about your presence, but he could not have foreseen this altercations, Lord Izuku. Izuku, humph, then understand this. I have little tolerance to devils, but I have little to no tolerance for any and all non-consensual harassment. I have enough to stand for as it is, he says as he glances at Issei's direction, who chuckles nervously. Grafia, dully note, Lord Izuku. He is dangerous. Riser, ah, you will pay, you lowlife. Izuku, remember my name, Riser Phoenix. I am Izuku Midoriya, the next head of the hero clan, and the wielder of Deus Gladio. Riser's eyes widen in surprise. Izuku, I am the vessel of Qinglong, the Azure Dragon of Authority. If you want payback, then remember my name. Riser, grr. They stare at each other with their eyes glowing yellow and blue respectively. Grafia, my lord assigned me a last resort, should things break down. Rias, last resort? Grafia, if my lady is insistent on following through with her wishes, she is to settle this with Lord Riser via raiding game. Issei, raiding game? Where have I heard that's right? The student council president and Midoriya mentioned it. Kiba, it's a chess-like game that noble devils engage in where they have their servants compete in battle. Akeno, that's why those of us called evil pieces are given powers modeled after chess pieces. Issei, so a battle drill, like he said. He glances at Izuku to see him looking at him intently. Riser, you won't win, my Rias. Ah. Rias turns to Riser and sees that his arms were back in his socket, but he had cold sweat running down his forehead. Riser, Azure Dragon Emperor. Huh! That lizard's power is annoying to deal with. I have played through the game time and again, and have secured many wins, far from any experience. On the other hand, you have not even qualified for an official game. Akeno, only mature devils have ever been able to take part in a raiding game. Issei, we are at a disadvantage then. Kaneko, that isn't our only disadvantage. Izuku, I heard that the third son of House of Phoenix was never defeated in raiding games. He may be coward, but he is skillful, I will give him that. Riser, you see, my dear Rias. He flicks his fingers and then another fiery magic circle appears and teleports a group of people. Riser, I have 15 servants, which makes full set, I believe. Izuku, and they're all female, too. TCH. Issei, and all are pretty women and girls? Izuku sighs, here we go. Issei, what a fiend! Eyes water, what a man! Everyone looks at Issei, questioning the reason for his crying. Riser, you Rias, your servant is looking at me and weeping. Rias, his dream is to have a harem. Revel, disgusting. Izuku, ha! The blonde with looping twintails looks towards the voice from the side and meets Izuku's eyes. The green emerald-like eyes and unruly green hair interested her slightly. Riser, I see. You dash. He could feel a set of eyes on him and looks to see Izuku was staring at him again. His eyes shine the bright blue color indicating that he was ready if he were to screw around again. Riser, TCH. You will not live this life as long as you live low-class Devilquin. Issei, shut up. The way things are going, after I marry the president. Izuku, oh? That's news to me, hee. So you found another thing to fuel your greed. Good. That's excellent. Issei, I'll get cozy with other ladies too. Izuku, still harem, huh? You do, I guess. Issei, you seed-sowing chicken bastard. They hear a chortle from the corner at that comment. Riser, are you aware of your place when you speak to me so? Issei and Izuku, who cares? Issei, my only place is. Rias, stop it, Issei. Issei is as the president's servant. Rias saw. Issei, nothing more, nothing less. Issei's left arm shine a bright red and his boosted gear materialize from it. Rias, Issei? Izuku walks next to Issei and pulls out Deus Gladio from the sheath again. Issei, we don't need any game. I'll defeat you all. Right here. Boost! Issei jumps forward and Izuku jumps past him. Asia, Issei-san. Riser, kook. Me. He was cut short as Izuku casts a magic barrier around the group. Riser, the Azure Dragon Emperor can use magic? Why you? He summons pair of fireball above his palms and throws it to the two dragons. Izuku, HA. Issei. Boost! 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 Ha! Izuku slashes the fireball while Issei boosts himself and punches it. Issei, Rias' ear. Boost! 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 Izuku, HAH. Riser, HAA. All three of them gets ready to clash and deliver a devastating attack that will most likely kill someone. But... Swish whoosh. Graphia, that's enough. Riser and Issei were suspended in the air surrounded by white magic circles, while Izuku's sword was stopped close to Graphia's neck. Issei, whoa. Izuku, TCH. You knew I would stop. Graphia, yes. Izuku, humph. Very well. He sheathes his sword again, and cancels his magic barrier which gave the servants a chance to pounce on him. Izuku, HM. But every one of them gets petrified in place as if Izuku was controlling them with his gaze. Izuku, I don't mind getting rid of some devils now. But you have a game to attend, and it would be rude to cause any inconvenience, won't it? He looks back at Graphia who nods to him. Izuku then. His eyes shine brighter and the servants all pass out on the floor. Izuku, I will just put them to sleep. His eyes then turned back to its natural green. Graphia, this fight shall be conducted only during the raiding game. So, I ask you all to stand down. Riser, TCH. Then I look forward to going against you, my beloved Rias. I will see you at the game. He then disappears in fire alongside his servants. Graphia, I will be going now, my lady. It was a pleasure to meet you, Lord Izuku. She bows to them respectively, and the two nod while she teleports back to the underworld and white magic circle. Rias, Midoriya. Izuku, I will be going now. I just remembered something that I had planned few days ago. Good night. He turns back and walks out of the room, leaving the occult club. Rias, Issei. Issei, President. Clap. Issei stands there looking down to the floor in guilt. Rias, that could have ended badly for you, you know. Issei, yes. Rias, if I say stop, you listen to me. Understand? Issei, yes, President. Rias looks at his regretful expression and decides to do something. Issei, ah? President? Rias hugs her servant, whom gladly accepts it after standing there in surprise. Rias, thank you for standing up for me. Issei, of course, I am your servant, right? Rias chuckles and then smiles. Rias, yes you are. Chapter 6, I will make you strong. Next day. Izuku walks into the occult research club. Izuku, so, when is the raiding game? Rias, you should give a heads up once in a while, Midoriya. Izuku, I did. He pulls out his phone, which makes Rias check hers, and to her surprise he did text her. I am coming by the club to discuss some things. Rias, you actually did. Izuku, I may not like devils, but I am not a rude barbarian. I know manners, just don't like exercising it towards devils or fallen angels. He walks to the couch and takes a seat. Rias, right. The raiding game will be held in 9 days. I am hoping for some form of handicap since the gap between two groups are astronomical at the least. But the days for preparations are steep. Izuku, but you shouldn't assume that you won't win. Rias, I know. Izuku, and do you think that you can make Issei strong in that 9 days? Rias, I will try. Izuku, that's not enough. Rias, I know. Izuku, sighs, I propose that you give Issei to me for training. Rias, why would I give my servant to a hero? I don't think you can make him stronger than I can. Izuku, are you a dragon emperor? Rias, no. Izuku, and you are still a kid compared to Riser. I may not be older than you, but I've been slaying demons and fallen angels as long as I can remember. This is not some mission that you have to kill some stray devils, princess. You are going against an upper-class devil who is known for never losing unless he wanted to. Rias, I know my odds. She slams the desk and shouts in anger. Her table shakes and items clutter around. Rias, but I can't give my own free will without a fight. Even if I know that I would lose, I will still give it my all. Izuku, then allow me to help you. Let me train Issei. It is something I am already doing. I just have to amp up the training regimen. Rias, you are his enemy. You are my enemy. You are a hero. What makes you think that I would fully trust you with my peer? Izuku, you don't have to trust me blindly. Trust is earned through gestures, and I am doing this gesture to make you trust me. I am a hero, and he was a human. Every day I see him, I see my own failure, Rias. Every day that we go training, I always blame myself for his death, which I could have prevented. Do you know what I was doing the day he died? I was actually 1 street away from him going to an arcade with my friends. I always think, would he have died if I didn't decide to go that day? Because he died in my area. He died because of my ignorance. Rias looks at him in shock. She didn't know that Izuku was the responsible hero of that area. She did wonder why there was no hero that evening, but now she knows. Izuku, just please let me do this. I want to at least make him strong so that he can live easily in his devil life. Let me right my wrongs. She could see his knuckles were white above his knees and his teeth was gritting. Rias, Midoriya fine. I will leave Issei in your care for the next 9 days. Izuku stands up and bows to her, then takes his leave. When the door closed, Rias leans back on her chair and lets out a sigh. Rias, so he was responsible for that area. No wonder he wanted to be here. The night was spent with Rias contemplating few things over. Next morning, Issei, GH. Issei falls flat on his back on the dirt floor. Izuku, come on, Issei. If you want to be useful to Gremory Princess, then you have to be able to hold your own against an opponent in your specialized area. Issei, but I am fighting you. And I am tired from the morning drill. It was twice the set and exercise today. Izuku, if we want great results by the time the raiding game happens, we need to amp up the training. But you're right, we should take a few-minute break. Issei, thank God. Ak. Izuku, devil, remember? Issei, yeah, I honestly forget sometimes. Izuku looks at him solemnly before sitting next to him. He looks up at the sky and wonders few things. Izuku, Issei. Issei, yes? Izuku, do you blame anyone for your death? Issei, you mean when Reiner killed me? Izuku, yeah. Issei, I don't blame anyone other than her. She was tasked to kill, and it just happened to be me. Izuku, you know? The heroes have their area that they're responsible for, just like devils. Issei, they do? Wonder what the hero of that area was up to. Izuku, I was responsible for that area, Issei. Issei, what? Izuku, yeah, that day my friends from the clan came into my room. Flashback. Boom. Well, you nerd, let's go. Izuku, Katsuki? Bakugo, you are disrupting the next leader of the hero clan. At least knock. At least Het didn't blow up the whole house. Izuku, why are you guys here? Bakugo, we are going to the arcade. Now move your ass. The blonde angrily stomps out of the room with a huff. Izuku, I sometimes wonder if all that stress will someday kill him. Uraraka, you know he means well, Izuku-san. Ida, sir, if you don't want to, you don't have to. We just thought that an outing with us would help you relax and get your mind off of the fallen angel's activity. Izuku, it's okay, Tenya-kun. I don't mind going out with you guys. And I said that you can call me by my name, Tenya-kun. Ida, I can't, sir. As the son of the hero clan's advisor, I have to treat the next head of clan with utmost respect. Izuku, always so serious, huh, Tenya-kun? Well, could you guys wait outside? I have to change. Uraraka and Tenya, okay / of course. They walk out. Flashback ends. Izuku, they wanted me to relax and have fun because I have been out patrolling the city at night for weeks due to Reiner and her group's peculiar movements. I knew that she approached you, but I didn't think she would carry out her plan that day. Issei sits there silently. Izuku, now, armed with the knowledge that you could have been alive if I had said no, what do you think now? Do you blame me? Do you want to hurt me? Punch me? Blast me? Issei, no. It is tough. Izuku, I would hope so. Issei, but I still blame Reiner for my death. She's the one that drew her spear through me. She is the one that killed me. Izuku, I see. I am sorry for letting you die, Issei. Issei, don't worry, man. You didn't know it would happen that day. Izuku, even though you don't blame me, I blame myself. Which is why I am doing this, Issei. He gets up and stands before Issei. Izuku, I will make you strong. The strongest Red Dragon Emperor to ever exist. Would you allow me to help you? He reaches out his hand to Issei, and the brunette takes his hand with a smile. Issei, yes. 5 days later. Issei, HH. Ha! HY8. Ha! Izuku, HM. Ha! Ha! Who? Izuku, HA. Ah! HY8. Issei gets kicked back to a tree, breaking it in half due to the force. Izuku, for good. You are getting better, Issei. By the time the raiding game comes, you will be able to pull your own weight. Issei, oh, it doesn't feel like it when I am getting my ass handed by you during our spar. Izuku walks up to Issei and offers a hand, which he takes. Izuku, well, it would take a lot more years for you to kick my ass. Issei, I am getting the idea. But I can kind of feel that I have gotten stronger than I was few days ago. Izuku, well, from now on, we will include magic to our training. I know it's not your strong suit, but you will get the hang of it as long as you keep trying. Issei, okay. Wait, you know magic? Izuku, well, if I was a normal hero with some other sacred gear, I don't think I would be able to use the magic that I use, because me being the Azure Dragon Emperor allows me to use his affinity as magic. Issei, do you think I can do that as well? Izuku, more than likely. But first off, we need to know how much you can put out, and your affinity. Issei, alright. What do I do? Izuku, magic is different for devils, angels, and humans. Since you're a devil and part dragon now, you have to use your imagination and imagine it flowing through you. Issei, alright, Izuku, try to imagine energy flowing through you and putting it out in some form. Issei, Issei instinctively raises his palm up. Izuku, steady breaths in a slow rhythm. Think of Ddraig, you said that he appeared in your dream. What did he look like? Issei remembers that dream he had. He remembers how the Welsh dragon was surrounded by flames. In Issei's conscious, Ddraig watches his vessel closely. Ddraig, yes, partner. Draw out my power, the blazing inferno that incinerates your enemy to nothingness. Issei, A ball of crimson-red flame flickers above his palm. Izuku, he. You have drawn out Ddraig's power, the flames of inferno. Issei, whoa, it feels very hot. Izuku, it is said that the fire breath from the Welsh dragon is able to incinerate everything in its path. I would recommend using it as a trump card. Issei, I want to try something else. The wind grows fierce and shakes the trees around them. Issei steadies his breath and remembers Phoenix's magic. Issei, if my affinity is fire because of Ddraig, I will use it similarly to chicken, Fu. He remembers the magic circles that the devils around him used. The teleportation, barrier, Rias magic circle and Riser's fiery magic circle. And suddenly, Izuku, Issei, Yosha. I did it! Issei gets excited as he sees his own magic circle. Izuku was impressed by this development. Izuku, what's the purpose of this circle, Issei? Issei, I don't know, I just imagined magic circles that the girls use and then disappeared. The magic circle continues to rotate in the air in front of him. Izuku then appointed a task to it. What do you want this circle to do? Imagination is the key, Issei, remember that. Issei, alright, exhales imagine. He closes his eyes again and tries to think of something that the circle can do. Then he sees a vision. Issei, red? He sees red straight hair, and then Ria's face comes into his mind. Issei, that red hair. Those blue eyes and those two mouths, that voluptuous boobs that was sculpted by the great Satan. I wish she was here with me. The magic circle floats down to the ground and ignites in a fiery blaze. Izuku, Is he summoning someone? This ought to be interesting. Izuku then sees Rias materialize above the circle as it vanishes. Rias, Where am I? Issei, okay? Rias, Issei-kun? Izuku, mutters this mother. Bam. Izuku then swiftly slams his fist on his head, and then starts scolding him. Rias, so? Izuku, you actual deviant. You were thinking about her body, weren't you? Issei, I can't help it, man. You see that body and tell me that she isn't hot. Izuku, that doesn't excuse your behavior, idiot. Rias, is anyone going to tell me how I got here? Izuku, Issei managed to use magic and then he cast a magic circle. He didn't know what to do with it, so I told him to imagine what he wants it to do, and then, well, he used it to teleport you here while imagining your body. Rias, oh, he managed to use magic in 5 days of training. He also looks She watches Issei as Izuku scolds his behavior and punches him again, but this time the punch was hard as it generated air pressure. However, to her surprise, Issei doesn't go flying or get planted to the ground. Rias, stronger now, mutters I guess I made the right choice. She smiles as she sees that Izuku was comically chasing Issei with his sword out. Rias, you are making him stronger than I could. Izuku, I think he is grateful for it. Info card Katsuki Bakugo. Name Katsuki Bakugo. Age 16. Race human. Parents Masaru Bakugo, Mitsuki Bakugo. Affiliation Hero Clan. Sacred gear none. Abilities magic, proficient with firearms. Katsuki and his parents don't possess any sacred gear, but they are skillful heroes that killed numbers of strays of all kinds of races. They're apt with firearms and magic, more than anyone from the clan except the Midoriyas. The Bakugas have been one of the families that found the Japanese hero clan with the Ida family. He has been friends with Izuku ever since he was 5. They sometimes patrol and go hunting together. Likes spicy food, metal drums. Dislikes devils, yokais, priests, church, bad food, losing. Chapter 7. I will win. It's the day before the raiding game. The day consisted of strength training in the morning, combat training during afternoon, and magic training in the evening. Now it was time to test if Issei was ready for the game tomorrow. Izuku ready? Issei widens his stance and summons his boosted gear. Issei, yes. Izuku unsheathes his Deus Gladio from his back and changes its shape into an arming sword. He positions himself ready. Izuku, well then. The moon was bright and high this night. The air was chill. Both dragon emperors were examining each other, preparing for any movement that the other might make. The leaves rustle with the wind as they continue to observe each other. Then with the creak of a branch the two rush at each other. Izuku slashes horizontally, which Issei answers with his gauntlet. Using the momentum of the ricochet, Izuku spins and delivers a downward diagonal slash, but Issei catches it with the gauntlet. Izuku good. He is using his gauntlet as a guard. It's a shame that he only has one, but if he achieves it, then it would be a different scenario. Ha! Izuku thrusts the sword to Issei, which he dodged by rotating outward while clutching the sword with his gauntlet. He tries to strike Izuku with a shoulder, but his opponent stopped it with an open palm. Izuku lets go of the sword and then pushes Issei away from him, and then calls his sword back. Issei, whoa! Seriously, that is awesome. And the force behind it is strong too. The hero twirls his swords and takes another ready stance. Izuku, normally you wouldn't have the opportunity to talk to your enemies, Issei. So focus. Izuku lunges at Issei again, but this time the Red Dragon Emperor was not planning on close combat. Issei. Boost! 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 Ha! Izuku HM? Issei. Dragon Shot. Explosion! Izuku, using our abilities, eh? Well then I will respond kindly. Ha! No! Izuku slashes the air and then uses Qinglong's ability to nullify anything in its path. The dragon shot splits as Izuku continues to advance towards Issei. The brunette swiftly jumps back as Izuku tries to deliver an upward slash. Issei, damn! I need another boost. Boost! 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 Ha! Red Dragon Flame. Ddraig. Wouldn't Dragon Flare be a good name, partner? Issei, maybe, but remember I am using what you created for me, not the crimson flame that you use. Izuku changes Deus Gladio's shape into an obscure shape. It was wide and big, the handle was long with a purpose of being wielded with both hands. It was hard to be called a sword, more of a battering ram. Izuku, HM. Rule! Counter! Izuku swings the great sword with the flat side facing the fire, and the fire bounces off of it in Issei's direction. Issei, he can do that? Issei quickly casts a barricade in front of him to protect himself from his own fire. Issei, I didn't know he could do that. What was that? Ddraig. That was Deus Gladio's ability, God's authority. He can make any rule he declares a reality, but it only affects the user. But be glad that he is not in his balance breaker form, partner. A previous user of that sword was able to alter reality in his balance breaker form. He might be able to do that, but he won't. Issei, well, just knowing that he can freaking change reality doesn't really serve as motivation, Ddraig. Yeepy. Issei dodges Izuku's sword by a hair. If he was too absorbed in his conversation, his head would have fell to the ground. Ddraig, knowing your opponent's ability would serve as an advantage even if you wouldn't be able to win. It takes the element of surprise away from your opponent, and serve as an opportunity one way or another, partner. It is time to use it. Issei, alright then. Boost! Boost! Boost, boost! 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 HAA. Issei, HA. Welsh Dragon! Balance Breaker! Izuku, getting serious, are we? Issei, thanks to you I achieved Balance Breaker. Now I will show you my power. Izuku quickly changes his form as well. Izuku, then show me your power, Issei. Azure Dragon! Balance Breaker! The two clash with each other again. Each of their clash shook the air and earth around them. The wildlife scurried away in fear, the river close by shook violently. Stranger, what is happening out there? The villagers in the nearby town step outside one by one, wondering why the forest trees were shaking in rhythm. Issei had created a sword with a body of fire. Their swords clashed, making sparks that lit their surrounding momentarily. Issei tries to slash his feet, but Izuku answers with an upward slash. He then winds the sword back with both his hands and tries to cut him diagonally, but the boy in red parries it away. Issei takes a quick distance from Izuku and then ignites the flames even violently. Issei, I can't hold the balance breaker longer. I need to finish this with one move. Issei takes a high stance and blazing aura surrounds him. Issei, Hellfire! Rage! Izuku, ultimate move? Well then. Void! Dimension slash! Increased. Izuku's form blinks out of sight for a moment. As he relaxes, Issei is berated with slashes that tore the dimension around them. Issei loses consciousness and skids on the ground in full armor, and Izuku catches him and lays him down gently, and the balance breaker shatters around Issei's body. Izuku, you did well, Issei. You have gotten stronger. He looks around the area and sees some cut-down trees that was scorched black. Izuku, perhaps we took it too far. Rule! Reverse! The area around them starts to reassemble itself. The trees that burned away slowly comes back to existence. The fire around them simply vanish into thin air. When everything reverts back to how it was, Izuku dematerializes his balance breaker and his sword. Izuku, that should fix it. Now let's go home. He picks Issei up on his shoulder and start making his way to Issei's house. Next day. Issei sits in his room in darkness. He looks at the clock indicating 10:24 p.m. Issei, 1 hour before the raiding game. He remembers the conversation he had with Rias earlier that day. Issei, press, I am sorry. If I hadn't ran my mouth at Riser that day, you wouldn't be in this situation. Izuku, Issei, you don't have to apologize. If anyone has to, it should be me. Even though I am not affiliated with you, he is trying to take out his anger at you guys. Rias, no, you shouldn't apologize. Izuku, I understand that you wanted some way out of it, but I shouldn't have attacked him. It's just I hate perverts. Issei comically steps away from him. On the couch, Kiba and Kaneko nod sympathetically. Izuku, I would have killed him if my actions wouldn't get punished. Akeno, you are afraid that the whole underworld would come to kill you. Izuku, I am not afraid of that. I am afraid that they might come after my clan knowing that they can't stand a chance against me. Kiba, but wouldn't that enrage you? Izuku looks at Kiba with his shining blue eyes and anger. Izuku, yes. Yes, it would. Rias, even if you did, my brother wouldn't be able to do anything. You possess the strongest sacred gear that the god created. He knows that going after your clan would only add oil to the blazing fire. Izuku, I wouldn't count on that assumption, princess. I don't know your brother, so he is a possible enemy to me. And I always assume the worst from my enemies. Rias, well. Thanks to you, things came right to the point. From the outset, my father and others anticipate me losing, which is why they set up this game. If I am fighting to win. I will not let my family name be a shackle of my own free will. Asia, Rias-san. Izuku, then win. I trained your pawn to be as strong as possible. Rias, how much stronger? Izuku, it is hard to say, maybe we could have a mock battle. So you can see the result. Rias, alright. Issei. Issei, yes, President. Rias, Kiba. I want you two to duel. I want to see it. All of them get outside the house. Both Kiba and Issei stand before each other ready to duel. Rias, don't hold back, you two. Give it everything you got. Asia, Issei-san, good luck. Kaneko stands there with her usual stoic impression. Issei, yosh. I will show you guys just how strong I am now. Kiba, good luck, Issei-kun. The latches that hold the sword loosen, and the knight unsheathes his sword. Issei, boosted gear. The gauntlet materialize on his left hand. They both takes their stance, ready to pounce at the signal. Akeno, begin. Kiba utilizes his gifted speed and closes the distance between them. But Issei was ready. Kiba, huh? Everyone else on the side gasps in surprise. Asia, I didn't know Issei-san used magic. I've never seen him use it before. Izuku, that's because he didn't know how to use it. I guided him on it, but everything else is the result of his hard work. Issei, ha. Flame shoots out of the magic circle and hits the blonde boy in front of it. Kiba gets pushed back with part of his clothes burned into his skin. Issei, gotta show all my skills to President. Alright. Boost! 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 Kiba, ga! It's very hot. He then blitzes to the ground and stabs the ground. Kiba, sword birth. Innumerable amount of blades start to burst out from the ground towards Issei. Issei. Boost! 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 Explosion! Dragon shot! Barrage! Issei continuously punches the energy ball, sending barrage of blasts forward. Most were aimed towards the ground to destroy the swords, and some flew towards Kiba, who tries his best to dodge all the blasts that targeted him. The area gets covered with smoke and dirt, concealing the two from the spectators. But the grunts of both boys indicated that they were both fighting. Asia, wow! Issei-san is strong. Akeno, it appears to be the case. What do you think, President? Rias continues to look forward, waiting for the dirt to settle down. Rias, he is stronger, but I could have trained him to be like this. Izuku, that's true. Which is why you should keep watching, he hasn't even used his trump cards. Rias, plural? Izuku, I trained him vigorously. I increased the level of training every day. Not only is he stronger and knowledgeable about magic, his proficiency with his boosted gear elevated tremendously. There is no way that he would come out of that training without few ultimate moves. The dust settled and they could see the situation. Coco. Kaneko was surprised because Kiba was seen injured. Kiba, damn. His attacks keep surprising me. It seems that I am paying my due for taking him lightly. Issei, are you okay, Kiba? Should we end it here? Rias, no. We will be getting into the game without knowing that much of the abilities of our opponents. Kiba underestimated Issei, now he has to face the consequences. Issei, but Prez. Kiba, no, Issei. I will manage. I will fight through the pain. Issei, but Kiba. Kiba, come! The knight raises his sword with his shaky hand, making Issei feel conflicted. He didn't want to hurt Kiba any more than necessary. Izuku, Issei. You cannot show sympathy to your opponents during the game. If you do, they will take advantage of it. Issei, I will not. I won't kick them when they're down. It doesn't sit right with me. Izuku, size, I guess it is too harsh for you. You can't picture his face as your enemy, I get it. Then fight me, Issei. Rias HM? This will be interesting. Izuku, we have been training for 8 days, so I don't think there will be a problem for you. Right, Issei? Flashback. Izuku, come at me with everything you got, Issei. Come at me with an intention to kill. The last part puts Issei off. Issei, I don't think I can do that. Izuku, you cannot be naive like that. I understand that you are still new to this lifestyle, but you have to be willing to take lives. You are not a human anymore. Issei, I understand that maybe against an enemy I would be able to do that, but I can't even imagine myself hurting my friends. Izuku, what would have happened if Rainier didn't reveal herself to you and just let her acquaintance do the job? You would have died believing her facade. If that happened, would you have been able to hurt her when you saw her on that altar when she extracted Asia's sacred gear? This made the newborn devil fumble. He couldn't imagine the scenario any different than how it played out. Issei, I don't know. Izuku, if that happened, you would have to hurt her. You would have to kill your supposed girlfriend, Issei. And there will be many that will do that to you when they realize that you are this naive. Issei, huh? He clenches his fists because he was right. He would have to do it if that was the case. But he was unsure if he would have been able to do it. Then, Izuku holds him by his shoulders and looks at him. Izuku, look at me. The brunette looks up and keeps his eyes focused on Izuku's. Izuku, it brings me joy to see that you're still human even though you've been reincarnated as a devil. But you have to toughen up. I am saying this so you can protect yourself in this newfound world that you were plunged into because of me. Issei, I can't kill. At least, not for now. Izuku, you know, I will have to make a choice in the future, right? It is my duty to neutralize the 2 heavenly dragons by any means necessary. Because of that, you can't think of me as your friend. Issei's eyes widen as he remembered that. Izuku, the facts are straight. I am training you because of my guilt, not because I want to be acquainted with you. We are enemies in a symbiotic relationship till the day that you will fight White Dragon Emperor to the death. So, I will say this again, Issei. I am not your friend. So come at me to kill. That's how you will get stronger. Flashback ends. Issei, no. I don't have a problem with it. Asia quickly starts healing Kiba when he got close, and Izuku starts walking to Issei. Izuku, well, since we're trying to showcase what you learned, you can take it off now. Issei, really? I can take these off? He asked ecstatically. Izuku, yes, I have to give you new ones after the game anyways, so take them off. Issei, yes. I have been dying to get these off. Right then Issei pulls back his sleeves to show pair of wristbands. He then rolls up his pants to reveal another pair of bands on his calves. He starts taking them off one by one, each making a sound of something heavy hitting the dirt. He then slips off his shoes and takes out the soles, and when he tossed them to the side, another thud. Issei, now, the heaviest thing I had to wear. He then starts taking off his top and reveals a Kevlar with pouches. It makes a heavy thud again, but this time some could feel the weight by the vibration through the ground. The rest of the peerage looks at Issei with wide eyes and mouths agape. Kiba, he was wearing that the whole time? Asia, though those seem heavy. They sounded heavy. Rias, I was wrong to assume that I would have been able to make him this strong. Akeno, era how brutal of you, Midoriya-san. Izuku, those are special weights that I myself used while training. Each bands weigh 15 kilograms, the soles respectively weigh about 5 kilograms, and the Kevlar is around 50 kilograms. After the game, you will wear bands on your shins, thighs, forearms, biceps, specially made shirt. The bands will weigh around 10 kilograms, so you will have 20 kilograms on each limb. The special shirt will weigh 55 kilograms or so. Issei, oh man. Issei slumps down hearing that he will have to wear more weights. Rias, when did you made him start wearing them? Izuku, since the second day. It started with wristbands that weighed 5 kilograms each so he could get used to wearing them. I was planning on increasing the weight every 2 or 3 days but had to increase them every day for the last 8 days. Kaneko steps closer to Issei and pokes him. Kaneko, so you had to wear it all the time during training? Issei, no, he made me wear it all the time except when I bathe and sleep. Kaneko, that's extreme. Issei, yeah, he. He chuckled tensely while remembering how difficult it was for him to get adjusted every time Izuku increased the weights. Izuku, now, let's do this. Issei, I will win this one, Midoriya. Izuku, ha! Keep dreaming. Issei comes back to reality, A/N, oop, there goes gravity, in his room. Issei, well, I couldn't win that time either. But I am going to win this rating game. I will win! Info card, Qinglong. Name, Qinglong. Age unknown. Race, dragon. Abilities. The Azure Dragon Qinglong have numbers of abilities that even the other two heavenly dragons have hard time countering. 1. Immense strength. Qinglong has immense strength that could rival the dragon gods. 2. Fire breath. The fire from Qinglong could erase anything from existence. A/N, kind of like Yamamoto's flames. 3. Dimensional cleave. His claws can rip the dimensional barrier of reality. 4. Null. He can nullify anything that may affect him. 5. Shape shift. Qinglong can change his shape and appearance as he wishes. 6. Dragon aura. Qinglong can release a tremendous aura that can paralyze even the dragon gods momentarily. Qinglong is the oldest dragon in existence, created by an unknown force that is even alien to the gods. He is a mystery to all. In the past, when he was alive in flesh, he isolated himself in the dimensional gap. That was until the dragon gods appeared before him. In order to avoid conflict, he left his isolation to another dimension to find peace and quiet. However, by chance, he opened a rift to heaven in front of God. God, however startled, was surprised by the dragon's action as the dragon laid down in front of him after changing his form into a dog. Since then, after spending some time together, God grew a liking to him and treated him as a friend, not a subordinate, nor a pet. When the two heavenly dragons were killed and their souls sealed into sacred gears, God gave Qinglong a lifelong mission to handle the two heavenly dragons. If they ever fought again, as they would, it would probably cause another problem to the angels and to his creation as well. Given that it was God who asked him, he accepted the mission and let his soul get sealed into a sword that the god himself made to host him that had portion of his power. The dragon was puzzled and questioned God for his own power, and he answered, "In time you shall see, my friend." The god enchanted the sword to be wielded by the greatest of humanity, and cast it towards the human realm. Throughout human history he was indeed wielded by the greatest of humanity, but there was only one exception to the enchantment, when his vessel rampaged through pantheons. It was a dark time for Qinglong, but he couldn't refuse his vessel as he found his reasoning to be valid to some conscience. Gods have grown ignorant, cruel, and vain. I shall be the hammer that strikes fear to their bitter hearts, so that they will remember that humanity is not their pet. After many more vessels, Qinglong is now wielded by the next heir of the hero clan of Japan, and he is glad that it was him that the enchantment chose. Chapter 8, Rage. It was late night now. Everyone from Rias peerage was in the meeting room. Kiba and Tuja both checked their each respective gears. The president and the vice president were sipping on tea to keep themselves composed. However, Asia was just getting finished with healing Issei's injuries from the evening spar. Issei, groans thanks Asia. Asia, we can't let you participate if you're injured. Izuku, I would have said let him. He would have to adapt to the situation. Asia, but that would be cruel, no? Izuku, and all of them getting dependent on your power is not? He says, which surprises Issei. Izuku, your gift is extraordinary, but they should not depend on it all the time they get injured. What would happen if you get exhausted? What would happen if you got kidnapped? What would happen if, God forbid, you die? You have to start getting stronger as well, Asia. Not as same as Issei, but your strongest self. Issei has started that journey and it is starting to show result. What about you, Asia? Are you just going to be the cleric that her peers have to protect while also fighting? Do you want to be damsel that always need protection and saving? Kiba, I think that's enough, Midoriya. Rias, Her gift is healing and we will make use of it however we like. You should not concern yourself with that. Izuku, I am not concerned, princess. But is she not? He points to Asia, who kept looking down as if she was in regret. Izuku, she is a kind girl, Rias. It is 1 in a million to meet a nun who is as kind and devoted as her. Tell me, Asia, do you want to be protected? Or do you also want to protect your friends? The blonde sat still for some time and answers. Asia, I don't know, but I know that I want all of you to be safe. So, if that requires me to be strong, I will get strong. She looks up determined, resolved. She looks to the hero in the room and asks for a favor. Asia, please, Midoriya-san, make me strong as well. Izuku was smiling because he wanted her to realize this now, even if it was a bit late. And if she is asking for his help, who is he to refuse her? Izuku, well, regardless of how today's battle will end, we will start your training soon. I will shape you into your strongest form, Asia. Akeno whispers, are you not opposed to the idea, President? Rias, no. He made Issei this strong, stronger than I could have made him. So I don't doubt that he will fail, Asia. She remembers Izuku's reason for helping Issei. Rias, I guess he blames himself for her as well. The failures of his responsibility in front of his eyes to remind him that he failed them every day must be tough for him. The door opens and in comes Sona Citri with her queen. Sona, sorry for the intrusion. Rias, good evening, Sona. Akeno, come on in. Issei HM? Why are they here? Rias, the rating game is being relayed to the members of both houses. They're assisting with the relay. Sona, I volunteered to do this myself seeing as this was your first rating game. But I did not foresee to see him here. She looks to the side and sees Izuku. Izuku, you don't have to worry. I will just observe, Council President. Or would you prefer to be called Princess like Rias? Sona, certainly not. Well, if you intend to keep your word, then please keep close to me and Sabaki. I want to keep a close eye on you. Rias, I will fight hard to not embarrass you, my rival. Right then a magic circle in white color appears in the room and then Graphia materialized from it. Graphia, is everybody ready then? Rias, yes. Whenever you like. Graphia, once the time to start has arrived, we will be relocated to the field of battle by this magic circle. Issei, what is the difference between there or any other place? Akeno, because it is an alternate space created just for the game. Izuku, so you can let loose without worrying about me or the others from my clan. Issei, oh. Interesting if what he said is true about his subordinates. Flashback. Issei, Midoriya. I have been wondering how your clan manages. Or how strong they are for the devils to be concerned by them. Izuku, are you collecting information for Rias Gremory? Issei, huh? No. It just seems interesting to me. How are you guys able to protect normal humans from the supernatural? Izuku, we use magic, it is as simple as that. Issei, is using magic same for humans? They just have to imagine it? Izuku, no, it is more complicated to utilize if you are a human. But some are talented enough to make it seem effortless like everyone I know in my clan. Issei, oh. Izuku, for example, one of my friend's affinity is fire and he found a way to explode things with a click of a finger like that. He clicks his fingers and a tree trunk bursts and exposes the nest inside it. Izuku, another friend of mine, is actually from a family that was close to my family for generations. Their affinities are inherent as everyone who was born in their family could use enhancement on their body to be as fast as a bullet train, or even faster. There are many people who can do all sorts of stuff that the devils or fallen angels would be devastated, not only by numbers, but also by our powers and abilities. And stack experience from our missions on top of all that, then you basically have a super army. Issei, I see. Flashback ends. Issei, then I am glad we wouldn't trouble them. Sona, I will be in the student council room, our broadcast booth. Good hunting out there, Rias. The two members of the student council turn around and start to make their way out of their clubroom. Rias, thank you. But keep the play-by-play fair, okay? Sona, of course. Although. She stops and looks back at Gremory. Sona, personally, I just don't think that gentleman is a very good match for you. Come on, Midoriya. Let's go. He starts moving to the door but stops before closing it. Izuku, good luck. Issei, remember to never hold back but don't exhaust yourself prematurely. Issei, understood. The door closes with a creak and leaves the Gremory Peerage and Grafia. Grafia, incidentally, this battle will be watched by the great devil Lucifer himself. Rias was initially surprised, but her expression grows somber at the mention of her brother's title. Rias, oh, older brother too? Issei, wait, great devil Lucifer is your big brother? Kiba, indeed, yes. The newborn devils in the group guffaws and gasps in surprise. Their leader, their master, their president was the great devil. Kiba, the scarlet-haired devil, Crimson Satan, Sir Zex Lucifer is her older brother. He says with a as matter-of-fact voice. Kiba, he is the successor of the great devil Lucifer who we lost to the Azure Dragon Emperor from the past. Asia, so that's how the president became the heiress to the House of Gremory. Issei, so she has no freedom when it comes to her name. A red magical circle then appears beside Grafia. Grafia, it is just about time. Rias then stands up and rallies her group. Rias, let's go everyone. Everyone stands on the magic circle, then it shines and transports them. Issei looks around and sees that there was no change in the environment. Asia, nothing has changed. Issei, did the transport fail? Then Grafia's voice rings out to everyone in the area. Grafia, everyone, I am Grafia, the servant of the House of Gremory, and I have been assigned to be the referee for the House of Gremory and the House of Phoenix. For this battlefield, I took the suggestions of Lady Rias and Lord Riser, and prepared a replica of Ko Academy, the educational facility the Lady Rias attends in the human realm. Issei, so we are in a familiar territory. Rias, correct. Grafia, the place to which both sides have been relocated will serve as their home bases. Lady Rias, your home base is the Occult Research Club room, in the old schoolhouse. Sona, Tsubaki. Tsubaki, yes. The two members of the House of Citri were in the council room with Izuku Midoriya, who kept his eyes on the screen with the two. Tsubaki does a sliding motion in the air, and then the screen showing Riser and his servants enlarge in size in the air. Grafia, Lord Riser's home base will be the principal's office, in the new schoolhouse. As such, promotions will become possible for pawns dash. The screen shows Riser on the chair with his legs on the table, whilst groping two women's chests with a smug smile on his face. Izuku, just you wait, Riser. I will plunge my hand into your chest and feed you with your own heart someday. Grafia, once they make their way into each other's schoolhouses. Sona, openly threatening to kill a royal devil when you're sitting next to one. Izuku, would you stop me? Sona, I will consider it. Izuku, heh. The brief pause told him everything he wanted from Sona, who was another heiress of another high-class devil family. Sona, do you believe she and her servants would win this battle? Izuku, well, I gave her a trump card. It depends on how she is going to utilize it during this battle. Sona, are you saying that the Red Dragon Emperor is her chance to win this? Izuku, certainly. I am certain she is leaning towards it more after seeing our spar. Tsubaki, you trained him? Izuku, Azure Dragon Emperor's duty is to oversee the two heavenly dragons. It is my duty to protect the realm from them as well as protect them from any harm that may come from something outside their rivalry. Because Qinglong is. Sona, so if the two heavenly dragons decide to live out their lives with friendly rivalry, he is an ally? Which do you uphold first in your life, Midoriya? Your duty as a hero or your duty as the Azure Dragon Emperor? Izuku, both are important. It depends on the scope of the issue if I have to choose. Sona, so he can be, you may have another heavenly dragon in your arsenal, Rias. The bell rings indicating the start of the game. Grafia, all right then, game start. Rias, cutting across the school grounds would be the quickest way to reach their base, but Kaneko, it is plainly visible from the new schoolhouse. Issei, the track and field on second thought. That must be another possible vantage point for them. Rias, you're picking things up quickly now. He has changed you, Issei. Issei, their numbers triple ours. So we have to give it our all, he declares as he pumps his fist. Issei, the gymnasium, how about that? It is fairly close to us as well as an advantageous zone that will put us in the center. Akeno, what an astute judgment, Issei-kun. Rias, you're right. So it is settled then. Rather than a mobile knight, the rook can take advantage of her more destructive characteristics. Kaneko, the rook, nods in agreement. Rias, let's first set up a defense line. Yuto, Kaneko, go set some traps in the woods. Driver/connector, right/Roger. Kaneko summons her familiar, Shiro, and walks out with Kiba. Rias, Akeno, once the traps are finished, would you cast illusion magic around the woods, including the sky, for me? Akeno bows very well. Akeno then walks out as well, leaving the two new members. Rias, Asia, you will stand by here with me as my healing personnel. Asia, alright. Izuku, tell me, Asia, do you want to be protected? Or do you also want to protect your friends? I want to protect them too. Rias, ISS. Issei, President. Rias, HM? Yes? Issei, I want you to release the seal. Rias, eyes widen, you know about that. Issei, Midoriya noticed it on the 6th day after the game's announcement. I was able to crack it to achieve the balance breaker, but your seal prevents me from using that form for long. So please, President. If you want me to be useful to you, then release these chains. Rias' cheeks heat up as she realizes something about her servant. Rias, you're completely different from the Issei I saw that day. She remembers back to the day when Issei first laid his eyes upon her beauty while he was goofing about with his friends. Rias, you've grown strong. So strong that my foresight was crushed by it. All right then, I will release it. She places her hand on Issei's head and he feels the flow of power in his soul. Rias, I am glad to see that Midoriya was great help to you. In more ways than one. I hope you won't hold back against those girls. Issei exhales, no need to worry, President. I will crush them. And I kind of have to because Midoriya is watching. In the council room. Izuku, you bet your ass I am. Sona, seems like you're a harsh instructor, Midoriya. Izuku, I have to be harsh because of our fate. If he was anything other than a devil, fallen, or a dragon emperor, I can see us being friends. However, fate made us rivals and enemies. Sona, fate, huh? Izuku, do you not believe in fate? Sona, to some extent I do, but blaming every event in your life to fate seems unfair to me. Izuku, what are you trying to say? Sona, I think you are distancing yourself because you think you can't, but is that actually forbidden? You said it yourself that you are the Dragon Emperor's nightmare as well as their protector. How does that work? Are you enemies that has beneficial relations with each other? Izuku, yes. That is all there is and ever will be with the three of us. Sona, maybe I can't understand that because I am an outsider. Or maybe it is just as I see it, a hokum that a past emperors themselves came to agree. Izuku, perhaps, that is the case. But I wouldn't know. You're very insightful, Citri. Sona, I am flattered. Tsubaki, Lady Rias has gone into action. Sona, with as many pieces as she is missing, she won't be able to protect her base effectively. Izuku, she would have to strike a blow that will put the enemy at a defensive. They continued to watch as Rias' servants scatter around the school ground. Izuku, so it seems that Rias chose to attack on multiple fronts to thin the enemy force. Good strategy, bud. Sona, against someone like Riser, it is futile. If he wished, he would have put a stop to it. Seeing as he didn't means. Izuku, this is amusing to him. TCH. His eyes focus on Issei and Kaneko, who just got inside the gymnasium. Izuku, so she is hoping to take control of the center. You know, he wouldn't let you do that so easily, right, Rias? Well, feast your eyes on my trainee. We know you're there, servants of Gremory. Issei then walks out on the stage alone. The pawn? Well, seems like the heiress of Gremory is underestimating us. Issei chuckles, knows she is overestimated Riser, that's all. Everyone watching besides Izuku hums in surprise. You dare insult, Lord Riser? Issei, well. He summons boosted gear and clenches his fist. Issei, seems like you've awakened something in me, Midoriya. I dare, then what are you willing to do? Mira, a pawn of Riser, lunges toward Issei with her cudgel ready to strike him. Mira, it will be your last word. Ha! He then looks at them with a smirk. Issei, ha, funny. Boost! 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 The voice was overlapping on top of each other. Even Issei didn't know how many times he just boosted himself. He then simply vanishes from everyone's eyes, which shocked them when they saw him kick Mira up. The shockwave rumbled the whole gymnasium and Mira flew up and hit the roof with sound of cracks filling their ears. And Mira, how dare ga! Everyone was taken by surprise again when they saw Issei behind Shuran, the rook. Kaneko, Issei-senpai is different, he's cooler now. Issei, well, you seem like trouble. Explosion. Dragon shot. Burst. He then fires a dragon shot, but it had a short range with big area of effect. Grafia, Mira, a pawn of Riser Phoenix. Shuran, a rook of Riser Phoenix. They'd been eliminated by Issei Hayato of Rias Gremory. With Riser. Riser, what? That devil eliminated my rook and pawn this early? How? With Rias. Rias, well, what do you know? I was overestimating Riser's servants. They can't take care of my one pawn. Asia, ever since Midoriya-san trained him, he has been more reliable. Rias, that he has, thank you for your help, Midoriya. Well then, shall we? In the council room. Sona, he just took them out with one move. Tsubaki, Shuran is considered to be a high-class rook that could rival a queen, and to think he didn't even promote himself. Izuku, do not underestimate a dragon emperor. With the right amount of guidance, obstacles and circumstances, we are the strongest beings in all realms. Riser Phoenix must be realizing that now. Sona, but even if he runs out of minor pieces, he is still the main problem. Izuku, the immortality is a hassle to overcome. If Issei was me, he would be able to defeat him easily. Sona, Rias did tell me that you and Red Emperor almost killed him when he came. Izuku, he's crafty. He wouldn't have went down without a fight, especially then when Issei was considerably weaker than now. Grafia, Pawn's Isle and now have been eliminated by Pawn Issei Hyudu. Sona, so, the gymnasium is Rias now. Back with Issei. Issei exhales, well, seems like all those training amounted to great lengths. If it was me from few weeks ago, I wouldn't be able to eliminate them this easily, I bet. Well then, I will seize this power that Midoriya gave to me and use it to bring her victory. President, the gymnasium is ours. Rias, splendid work, Issei. Even though it was not part of the plan, this is an advantage I am more than happy to take. Now please continue according to the plan. Kaneko, this is a sudden change, but please stay there until someone else comes by. Issei/Kaneko, yes, President/Roger. Issei then pulls out his wings and flies away from the gymnasium. But then, boom! An explosion destroys the gymnasium that he was just in. Issei, Kaneko. He flies down to see Kaneko in a crater with tattered clothes. He picks her up in his arms and starts flying fast back to their base. Issei, Kaneko-chan, hang in there. We will be back at the base in no time. Then Asia will heal those injuries. Kaneko, I wanted to serve President a bit more. Kaneko then bursts in blue sparks and vanish in his arms. Grafia, one of Lady Rias Rook, retired. Issei, ga, GKH. Rayara. He then flies back. Yubaluna, chuckles Hauga. Issei came back with speed he didn't know he had and punched the queen in her face. Issei, I am gonna destroy you. boost 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 boost. Ha! Jubilina, W what? Issei. Welsh Dragon! Balance Breaker! Ha! Issei then makes a spear of crimson flame in his hand and throws it hard towards Jubilina. Jubilina, I will not be bested by a mere pawn. She casts a shield and immediately flies away. She felt the barrier shatter like a sugar glass when she flew away. Jubilina, he's a close-range fighter. I just have to tire him out while keeping my distance. She then summons magic circle all around Issei and detonates it all. The shockwave could be felt all across the school. The spot erupted in flame and smoke. It would be a miracle to survive that. Izuku smirks Issei. Boost 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 boost. Jubilina, what? If it was anyone other than a Dragon Emperor, that would have been the case. Issei makes a magic circle. You will feel pain. Jubilina, this boy is crazy. She tried to fly away, but this time Issei was ready. Jubilina looked down and saw yellow string holding her in place. Jubilina, binding magic? He can do that. The magic circle then shrinks and floats in front of his fist. He surrounds himself in a blazing fire and lunges at Jubilina at a blinding speed. Issei, feel the heat of my rage. The sky shines bright by his flame. The space they were in shook violently as the queen burned to charcoal. Graphia, a queen of Lord Riser, have been eliminated by pawn of Rias Gremory. Back with Sona. Sona, he can also use magic? Izuku was not happy with this. He wished that Issei would have kept that under the wraps to take Riser by surprise. Tsubaki, his fire magic seems to be connected to the Welsh dragon. Izuku, indeed it is. A Dragon Emperor is able to draw out their dragon's ability if they try hard enough or prove themselves to the dragon that resides within. That flame, however, is not Ddraig's. It is something that Issei and Ddraig made so he could use it. Sona, it is powerful. And he's only a novice now. Imagine how he would be after some years. Izuku, he would become a very strong devil and one of the strongest Red Dragon Emperor. Sona, seriously, you have chosen a strong person to be your servant. With Riser. Riser, buck. He then slams the table and breaks it in half. Splinters and handles were thrown in the air. Riser, that bucking little shit. He's gotten strong. This was not in the plan. I didn't think he would get this strong. Stronger than my strongest servants. How? Ho! His train of thought halts as he remembers a certain pair of glowing blue eyes in the darkness in his memory. Riser, it was him, wasn't it? He must have used something to make him this strong. He must have done something, because there is no way that a devil can grow this strong in 10 days. TCH. With Kiba. Kiba, well, seems like my junior is being more useful than me. I can't fall that far behind now, can I? With Rias. Rias Issei? Issei. Do you copy? He doesn't hear me? Why can he not? Issei? Issei? Issei. Akeno. With Akeno. Akeno, I am close, President. She sees the destruction in front of her. The wall of the school had melted, the crater was now aflame, and in the center Issei stood in his balance breaker. Issei, panting, shit! I have spent too much on that lady. Midoriya's gonna kill me. Izuku, I am not angry, Issei. Issei, Midoriya? How can you do this? Aren't we in different dimensions? Izuku, which means nothing to someone like me. As long as you are alive I can feel, see, hear and reach anyone I can remember. And if I have my eyes on them, it makes it even easier. Issei, that's useful. Ah. Buck, I must have pushed it too far, my back hurts. Shit. The armor disappears and he feels the heat of his flame. Issei, wow, that is hot. Izuku, you did well, now let's not reveal any more of your trump cards. especially when people outside of this battlefield are watching. Issei, gotcha! Akeno, Issei kuno. The Thunder Princess covers her face as she feels the heat from the flames. Issei, oh sorry. Clicks finger. With that the flames die out. Akeno smiles, you did good. Issei, but Kaneko. Izuku, she's fine. She is getting treated by professionals. However, Yubelena's recovery will take some time. Akeno, you don't have to worry. Those who can't keep fighting gets transported to somewhere where they can be treated. Issei, who is that? Oh, I didn't know. Izuku, the queen piece that you just took out. They are transported, but they still feel the pain. Akeno, President tried to tell you that, but for some reason she couldn't reach you. Was there any kind of interruption? Izuku, it was me. I wanted you to use your rage and eliminate her right then and there. She would have been a problem if you didn't. Issei, really? I didn't realize that I couldn't hear her. Can you stop it now? Izuku, sure. Good luck, Issei. Rias, Issei. Issei, yes, President. Rias, oh, that's a relief, I finally reached you. Why couldn't I until now? Issei, probably some issues, or I couldn't hear you through my anger. Rias, right. Issei, continue with the plan. Graphia, 3 of Lord Riser's pawns, retired. In the council room. Tsubaki, now, the current remaining pieces are 8 for Lord Riser, and 5 for Lady Rias. Izuku, even though it's a good odd, there is still a high chance they lose. Sona, you're right, HM? They see Issei and Kiba running to the tracks and field. Sona, what are why? Izuku, it is too risky, but it seems like both of them had the same idea. They see Rias and Riser step out of their respective home base and start making their way to each other's. With Issei and Kiba. Both of them stop and look around. The area seemed empty, but they were none the wiser. Issei, HM? You plan to hide like cowards? Give us a good clean fight. Then they could hear laughter in the air, and the wind picks up, raising a cloud of dust. I am a knight in the service of Lord Riser, Carlamine. I question your sanity, coming out to confront me head-on like this. However, I love fighting fools like you. She draws out her sword and sets the blade on fire. Kiba, I am a knight in service of Lady Rias, Kiba Yuto. He draws out his sword and twirls it around and then takes a ready stance. Kiba, I'd been looking forward to a fight against another knight. Carlamine, well said, Rias Gremri's knight. The two knights lunge at each other and start to trade slashes and thrusts with incredible speed that their evil piece granted them. Issei, I can see their movements. That Knight of Riser is actually not bad, but she is nowhere near as good as Midoriya, and that shows. I will wait for someone else, I suppose. That's not necessary. Issei turns around and sees another woman. Ravel, Carlamine's head is filled with nothing but swords. She turned a glum face towards sacrificing those pieces too. Geez, could anyone be more unrefined? The blonde said disappointingly. She then starts to step closer to Issei with everyone else. Ravel, and just when I thought I had found a cute boy, he turns out to be a sword freak, too. This just isn't my lucky day. Issei calmly looks around to see that he was surrounded by the remaining members of Riser's servants. Issei, so Riser will not come out to play? Ravel, why would he? Did you think he would come just to eliminate you? And I must say, Lady Rias must have some poor taste in men. She said as she looked Issei up and down. Issei, heh, cute face with a sharp tongue, huh? Boost. It seems someone has to discipline you. Boost, 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 boost. Ravel, oh, I beg your pardon. I will not be fighting. Isabella. Isabella, H.A.H. Issei swiftly dodges the masked lady and continues to boost himself. Isabella, I am Isabella, a rook in the service of Lord Riser. You seem like a good opponent, Rias Gremri's pawn. Issei continues to dodge and parry while also continuing his boost. Issei, why is she not fighting? What evil piece is she so she can order them around? with Izuku in the council room. Izuku stared at the screen where Issei was fighting Isabella and pondered the same thing as Issei. Who is this little girl? How come Riser's servants follow her order without any rebuttal? Then something clicked in his mind. Izuku, Citri is that girl Riser's. Sona, you have keen eyes, Midoriya. Yes, that is Lord Riser's younger sister, Lady Revel. Izuku, so that bastard is a big brother, huh? I mean, he did say, third son, so I should have thought about daughters from the House of Phoenix. Why is she here then? Sona, Lord Riser says that she is participating as a bishop but she is not fighting. Izuku, so a dud? I just hope that Issei won't get any idea from this. Sona, in a way, yes. With Issei. Issei, wow, I didn't think he would go there, but I understand. But it's still sickening. Explosion. Isabella, huh? Issei, well, you are not a bad rook. But it seems we are done here. Dragon shot. Burst. He uses the same technique that he used on Shuran and simply obliterates her. Grafia, a rook from Lord Riser has been retired. Issei, well, let's finish quickly. I have some place that I need to be. He says as the gauntlet shines again, shouting boost. Info card, Tenya Ida. Name, Tenya Ida. Age 16. Race, human. Parents, unknown. Affiliation, hero clan. Sacred gear, none. Abilities, magic enhancement, lightning magic, and he prefers dagger and 3-sectioned staff. The Ida family doesn't have any sacred gear, but their body enhancement magic is hereditary, and they always possess another magic that can make them a formidable opponents to devils. They've grown big since the old era when the hero clan disbanded and went back to their home countries of origin. Today the Ida family has 50 or so active family members all throughout Japan who vanquish the malicious supernatural beings and protect the common people. Tenya is the second son of Ida family's leader. His brother Tensei works for his father and organizes all the family members in Japan, which he boasts to his friends. His brother is one of the fastest members in the hero clan, but he is faster than him. His lightning magic is second to none except for the deities who control lightning, but he considers himself to have been blessed by the Raijin himself. However, unbeknownst to him, he indeed was. Raijin personally came and blessed the young man when he was barely one. The Thunder God wished he could have gifted him a sacred gear but refrained from tainting the poor boy's soul further with his appearance. Likes, his clan, his brother, his friends, parents, beef stew, orange juice, and helping in any way he can. Dislikes, devils, yokais, priests, church, immoral actions, fallen angels. Chapter 9, One or All. Grafia, Lord Riser's 1 bishop, 1 knight, and 2 pawns have retired. Riser, TCH. This is frustrating. Rias, seems like my pawn is getting on your nerves since you haven't uttered a single word after you drew us out here. Riser, well, he will come for me next. I will show him how it would have ended if that blasted Dragon Emperor was not there, he said with the clenched teeth. Rias could see that as minutes passed by he was seething more and more in anger. Rias, hey, you got on his nerve, Midoriya. Issei lets out an exhausted sigh and turns his attention to Revel, who looks at him with anger. Revel, how? How did you get this strong? You are just a low-class devil, a lowly human that was reincarnated as a devil. Izuku frowns upon hearing that. Izuku, finish that girl already, Issei. You have a target. Issei, boost. 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 I will make this quick and you will survive since you're his sister. Explosion. Dragon shot extend. Issei then fires an energy beam point blank and immediately flies toward Rias, Akeno, and Asia. While flying, Issei clicks his finger in Carlamine. The knight's armor breaks, which was enough of an opening for Kiba to slash her. Grafia, 1 knight of Lord Riser has been retired. Riser, humph. The Thunder Queen is beautiful as she is strong, huh? Akeno, my compliment will not spare you from my punishment, Lord Riser. Riser was getting a bit overwhelmed as he continued to dodge and heal after getting hit by Akeno and Rias attacks. Issei, Ricer. He saw Issei flying at him with Kiba behind him. The gauntlet lands on his cheek and sends him flying back. Riser flies GUH. You low-class scum! Issei sees that Riser's cheek lit up and then his face was good as new. Issei, humph. I wanted to test it out myself. Seems like you really are immortal like a phoenix. Riser, that's right, what are you gonna do then? Issei, then I shall use something that my trainer gave me. Something that will haunt you for as long as you live. Everyone was intrigued by this claim. Some didn't know who he was talking about, but the rest knew who but didn't know what Izuku gave him. Sona, what is he talking about? Izuku laughed loudly as he was basking in Riser's incoming defeat. A fair loss to someone's first time participating in the raiding game. They then looked towards the screen and gasped in shock in what they saw. Issei, Welsh Dragon. Balance Breaker. Transfer. Null. Izuku, ha 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 ha. You see Riser Phoenix? You were doomed from the start. You were never winning this game as long as he was in this match. Now tremble and shake, in fear and anger, as you taste your first defeat by someone inferior to you. The right gauntlet of the Balance Breaker was blackish silver, same as Izuku's Azure Dragon Balance Breaker. Issei, you lose Riser Phoenix. You will taste your first loss. Riser, eyes widen WH. He then seethes in anger and shouts while letting out flames from his limbs. Riser, why you little low-class and pure devil? You think that power scares me? I am Riser Phoenix, son of House of Phoenix. I will not lose to a brutish dragon like you. Riser shoots himself with his flames at Issei. Issei, promotion. Queen. Boost, 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 boost. They clashed in the air as Issei continued to boost himself endlessly whilst also fighting Riser. With each strike, Riser's ability got weaker. It was Null's effective negating, but he couldn't completely negate his powers. He would need to be in contact for some time to do that. Issei, boost, 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 boost. Checkmate, Riser Phoenix. He strangles him and aims his left hand at his heart. Issei, I wish this was a real battle. I wish this was your death, but nevertheless this will give me the satisfaction for now. Explosion. Let me tell you this, if you come close to her again, this will be the sight you see before you cease to exist. Riser Ga? Issei, Dragon Shot. Burst. Riser, H. Graphia, Lord Riser has fallen. Lady Rias wins. Rias Peerage, alright, /yes. With Sona. Sona, well, seems like the wedding is off. Giggles. Tsubaki, HM? Where are you going, Midoriya? Sona turns her head to the door and sees that Izuku was just about to leave. Izuku, I have something I need to take care of. Have a good day, Miss President. He then leaves the room and walks out. He was about to call out Deus Gladio, but someone stops him. Leaving so soon, Lord Izuku? He looks back to the hallway and sees someone familiar. It was not her but someone who was almost identical. Izuku, Sir Zex Lucifer, I presume? Sir Zex, yes. And you are Midoriya Izuku, the wielder of Deus Gladio, a sacred gear that hosts the Azure Dragon of Authority, Qinglong. Izuku, yes I am. You also forgot some titles though. The Vanquisher of Beasts, Slayer of Demons, and Paladin of Humanity. Sir Zex, sorry about that. Your name traveled far and wide, but I only heard few, not all. Izuku, what does the successor of the great Satan want with little me? Sir Zex, to talk, that's all. Sir Zex starts to walk closer to Izuku. Izuku, sorry, I have something to take care of. Maybe next time notify me in advance, yeah? As Izuku turned and unsheathed his sword, but Sir Zex surprises him. Sir Zex, you're going to kill Riser Phoenix, aren't you? He paused and looked back at the great devil who stopped a step away from him. Sir Zex, you know I cannot allow you to do that. You may be the Azure Dragon Emperor, but you are still few decades early to be at my level. Which means I can stop you, he said as his body gets surrounded with thick malicious aura. Izuku, if we were to fight, I will crush you with absolute power, Sir Zex. Anyone in the realms is powerless in front of me. But let me ask you this, don't you also want to kill him for touching your little sister? If I was a big brother, no matter the consequences, I would kill whoever dares to touch her and pervert her. Sir Zex, believe me, if I could I would. The decision to marry her into the House of Phoenix was not decided by me and my father alone. Lord Phoenix, his father, was persistent with his request, and seeing as they are close it didn't seem like a bad idea at the time. Izuku, persistent or not, you and your father should not have caved. Sir Zex, aura stops. I don't disagree, yes. But we did give her a chance out of it. Izuku, you call that a chance? You know if I didn't meet and decide to train him, they would have lost to Riser. Sir Zex, I had some contingencies. Izuku, stop trying to defend yourself. You and your father bucked up. And now I am going to do something that you cannot. Now let me take care of this. He turns and raises his sword in the air. Sir Zex, his brothers will come after you. Izuku, let them. He was about to swing down. Sir Zex, they may kill your family and clan. His hand stops at that comment. Izuku, they will only die trying. If this brings war, my clan will gladly rise against your kind and they will have me to erase you all from existence this time. And throw in the fallen angels as well since you're all the same to me. No one will live if war is to come. Sir Zex, whom you really want his head? Izuku, I have patience to people who are close or beneficial to me. Riser Phoenix aggravated me to the point I ran out of patience after only one encounter. Letting someone like that live will only make me exterminate your kind more. Well, if you really want peace and not war, I have a proposition for you. Give me Riser Phoenix and ban the Phoenix family from all social events. They will still have their status regardless anyway. Or try to stop me and die before him and leave knowing that your kind will be erased from existence. This is your and the other Satan's choice. Either way, Riser Phoenix dies, the result is either war or peace. And I will be off then. Have a horrible night, great Satan. Izuku then tears the dimensional plane and steps inside. The tear in space then closes as if there was nothing wrong in the realm. Sir Zex, The great devil turns around and teleports back to his castle as well. Day later. The early morning was bright as all the other days. Izuku teleported to Issei's room to wake him up, but the devil was already awake. Brushed his teeth and everything, and now he had to wake Asia. Knock knock. Izuku, Argento Asia, are you awake? She should be awake since she was a nun, and all that. The door opened and Asia came out in her nightgown, barely awake surprisingly. Izuku, good morning, Argento Asia. Asia, good morning, Midoriya-san. Why are you here? Izuku, did you forget about the promise? For a second, Asia looked at him puzzled, but then her eyes lit up in panic as she remembered. Asia, I am so sorry. If I had remembered, I would have gotten ready. Izuku, it's okay since it is the first day of your training. From now on, you will get up earlier than you are used to and warm up with Issei and I. Then while Issei is training his forms, I will teach you how to utilize your power as an offensive. Now start getting ready, we will be outside. Issei, hey, why do you toss me out the window on the first day but go easy on her? Izuku looks at him as if he was stupid, or serious, or brain dead, or all of the above. Izuku, you want me to toss Asia out the window? Issei, right, stupid question. Izuku, I would have asked if you were slow in the head, but I know the answer already. He walks past him to downstairs while Issei stands there trying to figure out what he said. Issei, Ichiwai. It seems like he caught on. Goru, Issei, are you going on your run with Izuku again? Issei father came out from the master bedroom while yawning. Issei, yeah, and Asia's joining us today. Goru, that's nice. Before you guys go eat something light, your mother wanted me to say that," he said as he grabbed the handle to his and Mickey's bedroom door, probably going back to sleep. "Issei, right? Sorry if we woke you guys." "Goru, it's okay, Issei. Be careful out there and have fun." His father went back and closing the door behind him. "Goru, I told him yawns to eat something light. They're on their way out, it seems." "Mickey, groggy, maybe I should have prepared something." "Goru, well, you could do that tomorrow, honey. But right now, they will have to do it themselves," he says as he got in bed again. "Mickey, you're right. I will prepare something for tomorrow." Issei's parents then drifted back to slumber since Goru would have to wake up in few hours for work. Downstairs, Issei was in the kitchen looking in the fridge to at least make a sandwich. But the only issue was, he can't cook to save his life. Asia can cook something, but Issei doesn't have that much experience. Issei, well, it can't be that hard, right? Izuku, what are you doing? Issei looks back. Oh, Dad said that we should eat something light before our training. Izuku, alright. What are you making? Issei, sandwich? Izuku, you can't cook, huh? Issei, yeah, I can't. Izuku steps in the kitchen while rolling his sleeves up. Izuku, do you mind if I use your kitchen? Issei, oh, no, go ahead. Issei stepped back while Izuku went through the fridge and looked at the ingredients. Izuku, well, sandwiches are easy to make and it is a light meal too. So, Izuku took out the ingredients and places the cutting board on the counter, then starts making some sandwich. Issei, do you cook, Midoriya? Izuku, I can, but my mother insists on making meals in the house. Says that when I eventually marry someone in the future she won't be able to make meals for me, so she wants to do it until then. Issei, you're an only child like me, huh? Izuku, I am, yes. Your parents seemed like nice people, Issei. Issei, do you think my parents would accept me if they find out? Izuku, of course they would. You're their only son, Issei. When they understand that it was either this or death, they will be glad that you were reincarnated as a devil. Issei, Izuku then turns around with 3 plates with sandwiches and places them on the dining table. Izuku, you don't have to tell them now, but you should think about telling them soon. They will realize eventually, so it is better to come clean soon. Now eat. Issei then starts eating as Asia comes down the stairs in her PE uniform. Asia, oh, what is this? Izuku, Goru-san told Issei that we should eat before our exercise. Now let's eat and then we will go for a run. Asia, alright. Meanwhile with Sirzex. Grafia walks into Sirzek's chamber and bows before giving him an envelope with a seal. He opens the seal and reads the content on it. Sirzex, all of them has decided to let Midoriya have his head. Grafia, what will you do, my lord? Sirzex, to maintain the peace that we currently have, I must sacrifice one individual as well as damn his entire family. It is one or all. Grafia, seems like a hard decision to make. Sirzex remains silent as he sifts through all the possibilities that could come out from his decision. Sirzex, even though the hero clan is not all-powerful, their numbers far overcome devils. Izuku Midori is right. If war comes, it will be annihilation of the remaining devil clans since he is the threat. The great Satan Lucifer lost his life to a previous owner of Deus Gladio, and we don't know how strong Izuku Midoriya is compared to him. Size stuck between a rock and a hard place, huh? Info card, Ochako Uraraka. Name, Ochako Uraraka. Age 16. Race, human. Parents, unnamed. Sacred gear, Kanji no Go. Sacred gear level, unknown. Abilities, allows her to change the gravitational pull with just the motion of her hands. But there is also an ability that allows her to cast misfortune in certain circumstances. The hero clan have spread their influence throughout the decades and centuries since they settled back to their native countries. And the Uraraka family is one of the families that joined recently. With Ochako, the Urarakas are on their 3rd generation heroes. Her grandfather was the first hero of their family. Her grandfather or father was not gifted with a sacred gear, nor anyone from her mother's side. However, the itinerant kami, Kanjin blessed the girl with sacred gear suited for her. No one knows why Kanjin blessed the girl. Her mother thinks that it is because their maternal ancestor was a faithful follower of Oamotokyo. But nonetheless, she was gifted a sacred gear forged by the kami and swore to put it to good use. Her parents are not the greatest heroes in the clan, but they are quite powerful and skilled among the newer generation families that have joined the clan. Likes mochi, Japanese food, astrology, hero clan, seeing people happy. Dislikes evil and malicious supernatural beings, seeing people in despair or misfortune. Chapter 10, All for the People. The morning sun basked the valley that the main hero clan headquarters was situated. The members of the hero clan were already running errands, jogging or just walking about in the morning ray. The Midoriya house rang with the sound of wood hitting wood as usual. Izuku strikes the Makujin again and again and again. The time between the repetition shortens as Izuku strikes and thrusts at the Makujin with speed. Hisashi stands to the side as he observes his son's training. Hisashi, whom his breathing is out of rhythm, his strikes are not as precise as usual. Hisashi huffs and then takes off his outer clothes and walks toward his son with another wooden sword. Izuku continues to slash and strike the wooden training dummy. But then another wooden sword intercepts his strike and parries it. He reacts accordingly and takes a ready stance as he sees his father with taking stance as well. Hisashi, you seem troubled, son. Mind telling me why? He says as he swipes the sword to the side with wind accompanying it. Izuku, it's about that proposition. He responds as he jumps to him. Hisashi blocks and slashes which Izuku parries and tries to swipe back but it was dodged. Izuku, I am worried that I was too high on my horse at that moment. Hisashi, well, I agree that you bit more than you could chew. But I can assure you that everyone in the clan will stand beside you if they decide to start a war. Their exchange grows more fierce as Izuku pushes his father and chases him, trying to put pressure on him. Hisashi somersaults backward and continues to parry, strike, dodge, and swipe. The years of experience between them were evident as Izuku gets hit on his shoulder. Hisashi, however, I am interested in your reason for this. Why do you want to kill Riser Phoenix? Izuku stands straight and Hisashi relaxes as well. Izuku, because seeing that someone as Riser is among the high-class devils made me realize some things. It made me realize that there might be some, not many, who think of themselves as absolute, that they can do anything, and I am certain that those people think humans as their plaything or low creatures. His tone grows angrier as he continued on. Izuku, I want to make him an example that humanity has people that protects them. I know one of the previous Azure Dragon Emperor went on a spree, but they've started getting more loose, more comfortable. He will become their reminder. Hisashi, I see your duty as the Azure Dragon Emperor. Izuku, yeah, and I am willing to uphold my duty. Later. It was the weekend, so Izuku was going around the valley running some errands. The Ida house. As he continued to walk up, he hears someone shouting from the outside. Tenya, brother! I have fulfilled my duty. Tensei, no need to shout, Tenya. I can see it. Izuku, can I come in? He shouted from outside, then he could hear some scuffle from inside coming closer to the door. Tenya, my lord. Izuku, quiet. Tenya, alright, sorry about that. Izuku, were you busy? Tenya, not really, I was just getting done cleaning the dojo. The Idas had a big traditional house that was renovated with modern style and had a big dojo inside. The cleaning is a task as it is used by not only the Idas but some other families as well usually. Izuku, I figured. I just wanted to talk to you and Tensei-san. Tensei, what's up? Tenya's brother, Tensei, came from behind and saw that it was the future head of the Midoriya house and the hero clan. Izuku, can I talk to you guys in private? Tensei, sure. Come on in. The small group went into the dojo and sit facing each other. Tenya, what is this about? Izuku, it seems that everyone in the clan knows what I proposed to the great devil. Well, more like demand someone's head. Tensei, yes. Father told us about it. Izuku, I wanted to get your opinion on this and ask whether you will support me if a war comes from it. Tensei, straight to the point, eh? Well. Tensei closes his eyes and looks down as he contemplates. Tenya, I don't know what you're doing is good or bad. But I will stand against any adversary with you, my lord. Izuku smiles in gratitude that his friend is loyal to him. His eyes drift to Tensei and see that he was still in thought. Izuku, Tensei-san, I wouldn't ask you to fight with me, I just want to know your point of view. Tensei, well, you know that the Ida house hate the devils and any supernatural beings that are threat to humanity. So if you think this will let the devil faction wary and leave them in disarray, I am all for it. Izuku, people might die. Tensei, everyone in the hero clan knew what they were signing up for, and if there is some that doesn't want to fight, they can stay behind. We can't force them anyway. Izuku, you're right, what did your parents think? Tensei, they believe in your actions, so they will be ready if and when the time comes. Izuku, right, thank you for your support. Izuku bows to the brothers and they bow in response. His day was filled with him visiting other households and asking the same questions, and he was glad that all of them gave the same answer. With the Urarakas. Ochako and her parents, we will stand with you. With the Bakugas. Katsuki, bring them Mothu Bukiaris, I will send them to hell. Mitsuki, keep it down, brat. Kastuki, what was that for Hag? Mitsuki, who you calling hag, you ungrateful brat? Masaru and Izuku, you Izuku, it is always so lively in this house. Masaru chuckles, well, in any case, we will support you, Izuku. If a war comes, and I think this will result in that, we will help and stand with you. Izuku smiles, thank you, Masaru-san. Mitsuki, yeah, even if this brat was against it, I would drag his sorry ass to the battlefield. Katsuki, the buck you mean? Mitsuki, watch your mouth, brat. Izuku laughs, it is great to know my friends will support me. Qinglong, your friends respect and appreciate you, Izuku. Wherever you go, whatever you do, they will be there. Izuku, it seems to be the case. In the underworld. Graphia opens her eyes as her magic circle disappears as she teleports herself into Surzek's room. Graphia, my lord, you called. She gracefully bows and Surzek smiles at his lover. Surzek, please summon the head of Phoenix House. Graphia, have you come to a decision? Surzek, it will depend on his decision. Later. Izuku was outside looking at the crescent moon. The stars looked beautiful that night as it was the countryside, so there was no light pollution. Izuku, have you come to a decision yet? Surzek, I have, yes. The current leader of the Phoenix House wanted you to know this. Mr. Phoenix, if that brat is so adamant on my youngest son's head, I have no other option, do I? But let him know that the Phoenix House will not let this go by. Him being the Azure Dragon Emperor doesn't matter at all. We will have our revenge. Izuku HM. Surzek, so, as promised. Surzek steps aside, revealing Riser Phoenix. Izuku, Riser Phoenix. Riser Phoenix, just size, make it quick. Izuku summons Deus Gladio and changes the shape into an African executioner sword, Ngulu. Izuku walks closer to Riser and looks at his face for a few seconds. Riser looked gloomy. Well, it would make sense for someone who is about to be killed. Izuku, Riser, do you know why I am doing this? Riser, who cares? Why, I feel like this is actually a sweet release. Izuku HM? Why? Riser, I brought shame to the House of Phoenix. The high-class devil family lost to someone who isn't even eligible for an official raiding game. I became a laughstock to my brothers, shame to my parents, and I can't even look my sister in the eyes. Death is the best thing that can happen to me. Izuku raises the sword and gets ready to behead him. Riser gets on his knees and closes his eyes. Riser, I am sorry, Ravel, for the way I treated you. At least, you will be safe. Izuku swings the sword and mid-swing he changes the shape into a saber. Riser, ga! The Dragon Emperor swings the saber and leaves deep scratches all over the devil's body. Izuku stops. Riser pants in pain as the wounds come in contact with the cold wind. Izuku, The whole point of bringing you to me was to make an example out of you. Your behavior, your words were all vulgar and boastful. But now I see someone who has lost all purpose, and that someone is one I am willing to see change. However, you need to feel all the disgusting pain that you inflicted on the unwilling and weak, so these scars would be a reminder of it. Everyone will understand what punishment you received by the scars you wear, Riser Phoenix. Riser, why don't you just end me? Kill me. Living will only be miserable. Izuku, and that will be your punishment. Enduring the laughs and odd eyes that the others throw at you. Riser, RAHH. Riser jumps at Izuku with a swing and notices something. He couldn't use his magic, so he just ends up punching him, which did nothing to the Azure Dragon Emperor. Izuku, and that will be your second punishment, no magic until I change my mind. And now the third and final punishment will be. Deus Gladio's shape changes again back to the Ngulu and slices his hands off. Riser, AHHHHH. The scream rang throughout the valley, waking and alarming some unknowing residents. Surzex tries to walk up, but someone holds a blade in front of him. Hisashi, do not interfere. Izuku kicks Riser's chin to silence him. Izuku, take him away. I am done. Chapter 11, A Night's Unusual Day. It was a lovely Monday. The streets were busily flowing with students and workers alike. Izuku was not one to take the scenic route, but he did occasionally. He walks up the bridge and continues to walk to the other end. Izuku HM. He descends the stairs, continue on his way to the school, but makes an abrupt stop at a coffee shop. Ding. Server, welcome. He takes a seat at the corner table for a group and sits with his phone out. The server comes and asks for his orders, which he gives her the items and wait. Ding. Server, welcome. Two people with white overcoat walks in. Some looked at them with peculiar eyes but left it at that. Their heads scan the cafe and stop at Izuku's direction, who was still on his phone. One of them nudges the other, and they both walk towards him. Excuse us. Izuku then. The two got surprised by this. Who tells a stranger to sit without even knowing their names or features? Izuku, I ordered some drinks for you too. Let's talk over some refreshments, HM? He looks up and smiles a little, taking the two by surprise. He knew we were tailing him? They sit in front of him and take their hoods off, revealing their figure. Two girls, one with chestnut-colored hair tied into a twin tails, and the other had short blue hair with green fringe on her right side. Both were beautiful young ladies, and judging by their attire they were from a religious group. Izuku, now, I think introductions are in order. My name is Izuku Midoriya, or Izuku Kemp Midoriya. What are your names? Zenobia, I am Zenobia Korda, and this is Irina Shidu. Irina, hello? Irina waved with a smile, which he reciprocated with a smile as well. Izuku, are you guys from the church? Irina, Protestant church, yes. Izuku, okay. Server, here's your order. Please enjoy. She bows and steps away to serve another table. Izuku had ordered 3 pies and 3 cups of tea. Izuku, hope you don't mind. I didn't know what you would have preferred. Irina, oh, thank you, Midoriya-san. May all be fed. May all be healed. May all be loved. Amen. Zenobia, amen. They both dig in together and melts on the spot. Irina, this is so delicious. So sweet. Zenobia, thank you, Midoriya-san. Izuku, it is no problem. You two seemed hungry, so this will be my treat. He starts eating as well while the girls savored the sweet taste. Izuku, so why were you guys following me? I could tell you were behind me since the train station. Zenobia, he's observant. I wanted to meet the next leader of the hero clan who possessed the infamous Deus Gladio. Sword that was crafted by the Lord's hand and holds the dragon that God favored like his angels. Izuku, oh? So what is your impression? Zenobia, as a person you seem like a decent person. But I want to see how your battle prowess fares against mine. Izuku gives her an amused eyebrow raise and smirks. Izuku, alright, when and where? Zenobia, as soon as possible. Izuku, alright. Izuku stands up and walks to the register and pays for the cups of tea and pies. He then comes back. Izuku, let's go. The three walk through the street with the two ladies following Izuku. Irina, where are you taking us? Izuku, we're going to somewhere I go to train. Zenobia, how far is it? Izuku turns back and smiles. Izuku, we're not really walking there. Follow me here. He then turns to an alley. The girls looks at each other then follow after him. They see Izuku standing at the end waiting for them. Izuku now. He summons Deus Gladio and slices the air. The space in front of him tears and opens a black void. Zenobia, did he just? Irina, open a tear in space? Izuku, follow me. They see Izuku walk into the void. They were hesitant to follow him, but they put their faith in him and walked through with their eyes closed. When they opened them again, they see that they were somewhere in a forest. Irina, whoa, how far are we? Izuku, somewhere outside the city, way northwest. I use this place to train the Red Dragon Emperor and his friend. Now, what will the rules be? Zenobia, other than life-threatening injuries, anything goes. Izuku, ho? Are you certain? Zenobia, do you think of me as a lesser swordsman? Izuku, I wouldn't know, Miss Querta. How long have you wielded the sword? Zenobia, as long as I can remember. She unsheathes her holy sword, Durandal, and holds it in front of her. Izuku, how many have you slain? Zenobia, what? Izuku, how many devils or demons have you slain with your holy sword? Zenobia, few, maybe around 100. Izuku, a commendable number, but I am sorry to tell you that you are a lesser swordsman. He then holds Deus Gladio in front of him and changes its shape. Izuku himself gets covered with blue energy. Izuku, your power will be of no use against me. A knight gives their all, no less than their strongest. And if that is yours, then. It all happened fast, faster than any of the two could see. Izuku already closed the distance between him and Zenobia to grab her throat. She could no longer hold, nor care for her sword, but only her survival as she tried her hardest to make his grip loosen. Izuku He grumbles and throws her away to a tree nearby. Zenobia I couldn't see him move at all. So that is his balance breaker. She rubbed her neck as she inhaled some precious air. Izuku swatted Irina like she was an annoying insect in his face. Izuku, you two are only human. Zenobia, you're human too, Izuku, the wielder of any sacred gear that contains the heavenly dragons or dragon gods change in time. The dragons change their wielder's body into a dragon hybrid ever since they are awakened by their current holder. So, seeing as Deus Gladio awakened when I was 7, I am a human and dragon hybrid. Which means, no Miss Querta, I am no longer human. He picks up the holy sword with no effort and tosses it in front of Zenobia, who was getting her senses back after almost getting choked. Izuku, since you two are human. The armor shines and some parts disappear like they materialized before, and then he took a stance while the blade shone into two separate pieces. Izuku, I think this shall be enough. Now come at me. Both women stood up while they picked their sword. They could see Izuku and those rumors were true, but they wanted to test their strength against someone that could destroy the whole supernatural world if he so wished to do so. The person in front of them was a walking calamity, and they wanted to see how no race, no god could stand against him as he took his time closing the space between them. Zenobia gets kicked to the side before Irina charged at Izuku. The Dragon Emperor parries Irina's sword while he follows it up with a swing which connects and opens a gash from the girl's shoulder to her thigh. Zenobia, Irina! Blood sprayed before Izuku kicked her down. He turns back and rushes at Zenobia. Zenobia, you bastard! She swings down Durandal, and the holy sword sends a holy light slash towards him. He rotates and parries the slash on the flat surface and continues to dash at her. Zenobia, Both rush each other and engage with their swords. Even though Durandal can cut through anything with its destructive power, Deus Gladio was no ordinary item. Izuku, How can she swing that sword around like it's nothing? Very amusing. Between the exchange they were having, Zenobia thrusts the sword, almost cutting Izuku's shoulder. Izuku smirks. Not bad at all. He clasps the swords together while he charges to change its shape into its original form. They continue to slash and dodge without hitting each other. But moments later, the Dragon Emperor had enough. Izuku, alright, I've seen enough. Time to end it. Zenobia, huh? Izuku's image vanished as the girl saw streams of light all around her momentarily. When Izuku appeared again with his back turned to her, she sees the space around them distort and shatter with her body. She fell back with no strength in her legs to hold her up as her body shut down from sudden surge of pain. She could see her blood in the air but couldn't feel her body. Where was it coming from? Why was everything so hazy? Zenobia, gasp. She sits up gasping for air. She couldn't tell where she was, but Irina was also there beside her and under a blanket, so she deduced it was safe here. Zenobia, was that a dream? Izuku, what do you mean? Her soul almost jumps out of her body as she hears Izuku's voice from the side. Izuku, if you're referring to the duel, then no, it was not a dream. Zenobia, if that is true, then how? Izuku, you two are fine. I made sure to patch you both up and you don't have to worry, my maid helped with some parts. The blue-haired girl looks at him quizzically, but soon realizes what he was talking about. She swiftly covers herself from neck down, while looking at him angrily. Zenobia how can I be sure? Where is she then? Maid, I'd brought some ointment for them, young master. Oh, you're awake. She smiles at the girl while she relaxes seeing her. Zenobia, then I guess I will trust you on that. Izuku, did you see what you came here to see? Izuku, only a god or godlike power can threaten me. Zenobia, nods. I am glad to know that humanity has a great ally and protector like you. Izuku, well, you can rest here for now. I am guessing that you two are on a mission, but it has to take second priority to your health. My friend will be here to heal your wounds shortly. The next day, the two swordswomen went on their way after thanking the Midoriyas for their hospitality. They also told Izuku that they would probably see him later that day. Izuku, well, I don't mind fighting, but I am not in the mood today. Chuckles. The two smiled and turned around and headed towards the train station. Hisashi, they seem nice. Gwen, they were too religious for my taste, and that is saying something. Izuku, laughs. Didn't you give up on God and his religion? Gwen, but I was a believer, son. However, their dedication is way too much. Hisashi, chuckles. Alright, Izuku should be on his way now. Right. Izuku, yeah? He slashes the air and opens a rift in space like he always does. Izuku, I'll be going now.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.